That sets the table. We're ready to go. And Bush delivers to Chris Dickerson. And it's strike one. And off we go at Miller Park tonight. 74 degrees as we hit the air tonight in beautiful Milwaukee. This is a great time of year to be in this town. Dickerson singles to right. And the Reds have a leadoff base runner.
Well, it's always about command of the fastball for Dave Bush. He's got that tailing fastball that he likes to use on the inside corner to left-handers and kind of catches the edge on the outside corner to right-handers. Bushy's done a good job throwing strikes so far this year. This one a little bit too good right down the middle. 15 walks for Dave Bush, and 4 of those came in his last start at the Metrodome.
Bush gave up 4 runs in 6 2/3 against the Twins his last time out. And it was his first loss of the season. But pretty much Dave Bush has been the most consistent Brewer starter this year. And you know, when it was all said and done, he didn't have that bad of a game against the Minnesota Twins. The walks a little uncharacteristic, but still only 4 runs against a hot team at the time in Minnesota. And Bush was able to pitch into the 7th inning.
And 2 of those runs on Bush scored after he left the ball game.
That one's hit well deep left center field, and Jerry Hairston has put the Reds on top. Just like that, the Reds come out banging away. And a 2-run home run for Jerry Hairston, his 7th of the year, and it's 2-0 Cincinnati.
And these guys are the table setters, the guys that just got the couple of runs. Jerry Hairston picking on a fastball right down the middle, so Dave having a tough time locating right now. Was supposed to be away, left it inner half, and Jerry Hairston knocked it on out of here. Not by much. Ryan gave it a chase, but ran out of room.
Well, it's been a difficult 24 hours for the Cincinnati ball club. Learning that their star offensive player, Joey Votto, would be leaving the team. Dusty Baker and Walt Jocketty, the Reds general manager, meeting with Votto last night. Votto decided that he needed to go on the disabled list. He has returned to Cincinnati. But the Reds have endured some injuries here lately. Brandon Phillips just back into the lineup tonight for the first time in a week. And yet the Reds, until last night, had won 4 straight and 5 out of 6.
Man, playing very good baseball. I mean, everybody thought that they would be a better ball club coming into the season this year.
Jay Bruce down on strikes, and it's out number 1 here in the first inning.
Yeah, that patented Dave Bush curveball. It looks like it just kind of stops in midair and then drops off the table. That's a heck of a 2-strike pitch. Good location for Bush. And Bruce way out in front.
Now, Bruce was the final out last night. Hoffman got him on consecutive changeups. And here's Brandon Phillips back in the lineup for the first time since Saturday. That was his last start, Saturday against the Cleveland Indians. He fractured his right thumb fielding a ground ball against the Indians in interleague play. Phillips did pinch hit late last night, but Rock was only able to bunt, and he was an out in that 9th inning for Trevor Hoffman on a failed bunt attempt.
I'm kind of surprised that they had him go up there knowing that he really couldn't swing the bat. I guess he's figuring if I get a bunt base hit, he can steal second base. That's got to hurt, though. That hairline fracture in the thumb and the top hand. Trying to hit a baseball. That's tough enough when you're feeling good, let alone with a problem in your hands.
When you see that top hand, he's got the padding around it, what they call the choke pad, and he launches this one deep to left field. Braun at the warning track, and that one is gone. And Brandon Phillips with a bang back into the Cincinnati lineup, and the Reds are up 3-0.
Almost doing a guy a favor that, you know he's got a problem with the hand, the big off-speed pitch, the curveball that hung up in the strike zone. Check it out. You remember the one to Jay Bruce, the one that was down, that one just hanging up in the middle of the plate. And we talked about home runs. Bush now in his last 6 starts, including tonight, has allowed 10 home runs.
Boy, a rough start for Dave Bush. 3 runs on the board. The Brewers with just 1 out. And here's Lance Nix, another lefty in Dusty Baker's lineup. So Phillips, playing with a fractured right thumb, delivers with his 8th home run of the year. There was some talk that Phillips would go on the disabled list, but he backed off the Reds as soon as it happened. He thought he could come back, and once they took the x-rays and realized it was just a hairline fracture, then it's all about pain threshold. You know, he wasn't going to injure the thumb any further. Once he found that out, he had to go through some tests and some batting practice to see how much he could take. No problems when you hit it in the sweet spot.
No. Hey, get him off the end or you get jammed. Those things, that's going to hurt. You know it's going to hurt. You know, think about that disabled list. I mean, if you don't go on right away and you don't play, then you can always retroactive the DL. But a guy like Brandon Phillips, you got to admire a guy that doesn't want to miss any time. And he talked him out of going on the disabled list. And right now with Joey Votto out, I think the Reds are happy that they didn't.
And Nix draws the walk. Boy, this is not the start Dave Bush was looking for. 3 hits, a walk, 2 of the hits home runs. Well, last weekend the Reds played the Indians in interleague play in Cincinnati, and this is how Phillips fractured his thumb. Took a ground ball right off the tip of his thumb. And a lot of blood, as you can see, and after x-rays revealed the fracture. They thought that night Phillips was going to be down for at least a couple of weeks, maybe more. But here he is a week later, back in the lineup and delivering with his 8th home run of the season.
You ever had a ball like that off the end of the finger or thumb like that? Boy, that hurts. You start splitting nails and you get in that, that area all messed up. That hurts.
So 1 gone, and here is Ramon Hernandez, and a chance for 2 here. Counsell to Hardy, and a double play. So the inning is over, but the Reds come out banging. 2 home runs in the first inning. Hairston, a 2-run shot. Brandon Phillips, a solo shot, and it's 3-0. He has seen the high life. Good to have Wendell in the ballpark. Threw out the first pitch earlier today as well. Here's the batting order for the Brewers. They'll have to play catch-up tonight, down 3-0 early. Counsell, Hardy, and Braun at the top. Fielder, Cameron, and Hart in the middle. Bill Hall gets to start at third base. He's put up very good career numbers against Aaron Harang. Mike Rivera and Dave Bush rounded out the Subway lineup for the Brewers, and there is Aaron Harang coming off a win his last time out.
And the Piggly Wiggly scouting report, he eats up a lot of innings. He's pitched average over 6 innings per start so far this year. He works very quickly. Defense usually pretty good for him. He's got a good sinker and a slider. He'll also throw a changeup and a curveball once in a while to a left-handed batter.
So big Aaron Harang at 6'7", facing the Brewers for the first time this year. Counsell leads off once again. Ken Maka has been trying to get Craig Counsell a day off here or there, but he just continues to swing the bat. He does all the little things you need. He helped the Brewers win a ball game yesterday with a tremendous double play late in the 8th inning. And Maka just cannot afford to have him out of the lineup right now.
He just does too many things to help you win. If he doesn't get base hit, he might draw a walk, score a run. That play he made yesterday, it was a turning point. First and second, nobody out in the 8th inning. The Reds decided not to bunt. Ground ball, and Counsell made a nice play, tagging the runner going to second base and turning 2.
Dusty commented on that after the game last night. The Reds manager saying that Dickerson has not been doubled up all year, and he wanted to take a chance that Dickerson wouldn't ground into a double play ball for the first time this year. But that's not the way it turned out. Coffey got the double play. The Brewers would go on to win as Hoffman remained perfect. He's now 12 for 12 after his save in the 9th inning. Ken Maka did say that Counsell is going to get some days off coming up on the road trip. The Brewers are headed to Miami tomorrow night after the game, and the Marlins have a few lefties scheduled, and of course the Atlanta Braves have some lefties, and Counsell keeps doing that. Another base hit, and Counsell starts the bottom of the first with a single back up the middle.
That has been a pretty good table setter in the absence of Ricky Weeks. Aaron Harang will give up some base hits, and that started in 5 innings his last time out against Houston. Give up 10 hits. An 8-5 Cincinnati win. So most of the time he keeps the ball in the ballpark. He's only given up 7 home runs so far this year. Not too bad.
But what's interesting about Harang and the home runs, he has given up home runs in each of his last 6 games, but just 1 home run in those games. Has not allowed a multi-homer game yet as a Red starter this year. Harang lost a lot of weight in the offseason. He's down about 25-30 pounds, but still a guy who can take the ball every 5th day and pitch deep into ball games. There was an occasion a couple of seasons ago when he pitched into the 10th inning against the Brewers.
Yeah, he's been a good one for a while. I mean, before last year, he had 200+ innings in 3 straight years. 06, he threw 234 innings.
That was the year he led the National League in wins with 16, and he also led the National League in games started. He started 35 games in 06. Last year, he led the league in losses. 6-17 for the season for Harang. And for the 4th time, he was the Reds' opening day starter. The 2nd time with Dusty Baker as manager. 2 balls and a strike on J.J. Hardy. That one's hit well. A base hit. So the Brewers working it back up the middle against Aaron Harang to start it. And just like that, the tying run comes up here in the bottom of the first.
Well, we've seen it before, and we've seen it in the month of May where the Brewers have fell behind early. 3-0 a couple of times, but pitching staff settles down and this offense gets going. Beautiful approach by Craig Counsell. Now J.J. Hardy banging that one right back through the middle. Harang pretty much will work your way. He'll come in for effect from time to time. Made a mistake with one right down the middle.
Well, the Brewers boast in their batting order 2 guys who lead their respective positions in the All-Star balloting, in J.J. Hardy and Ryan Braun. Hardy the top vote getter among National League shortstops, and Braun the top vote getter among National League outfielders. Braun at .315 on the year, 8 homers, 31 runs batted in. He's done most of his damage this year on the road. His home numbers are a little bit off. No real reason for Ryan Braun, he says. Just the way the statistics shape up right now. Braun did have a good night last night. He was 1 for 3 at the plate with a walk, and had one of the 3 hits the Brewers posted last night en route to that 3-2 win.
Yeah, 3 hits for the Brewers, 2 homers and a double. No singles for the Crew last night. Hey, Johnny Cueto threw well, but so did Braden Looper. That was a good game. 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Nice and tight. It was well played, well defensed, and a good turnout for the Brewers. There's another one right on the outside corner. Harang has hit that spot twice, and he's ahead in the count, a ball and 2 strikes. Cueto was the tough luck loser last night. He drops to 4-3. And Looper picked up his 5th win. Snapped a bit of a streak for the Brewers. They've gone 8 starts or 8 games without a starting pitcher winning before Looper turned the trick last night. It's been a bit of a home run drought for Braun. He hasn't homered since the 9th of May. The 2-2 fouls it away.
Yeah, like a lot of power hitters, they come in streaks. We go a while without hitting one, but I don't remember a drought like this for Ryan last year. He might have had one, but you never know. It doesn't seem like it's been that long ago. When they get hot, these home run hitters, they bunch them together.
Braun has only 1 hit on the homestand, that double yesterday. Trying to get things turned around at the plate. The 2-2 on the way, and Braun strikes out. Harang stayed away from him, and it's out number 1. Runners unable to advance, but here comes Fielder with 2 on. And last night, Prince jump-started the Brewers offense. The first home run of the homestand when he hit his 11th homer on the Powerball board. Fielder, a 2-run home run in the first inning with 2 outs. And now 11 for the year. Fielder second in the league in RBIs. He's trailing only Raul Ibanez in the National League. 45 driven in for Prince.
Yeah, he might not get hits every time up, but he always looks very comfortable up at the plate, very relaxed. We talked about that today on Brewers Live, how relaxed Prince seems to be. Not getting all worked up over one at bat. If he doesn't get the job done, he's kind of been very much in control.
The new Prince.
Not that the old Prince was real bad. He was pretty good with the old Prince, but he's a little bit more mellow these days.
Now you see what the Brewers have done with the long ball. Fielder at the top of the list with 11. Cameron his 9th. Cameron hit one in Minneapolis last Sunday. That's his last home run. And that was his 250th career home run, a milestone homer for Cameron. Brewers would like to find their home run stroke again. They had 2 last night. I think the contract had a lot to do with Fielder's newfound temperament, I guess you could call it. I mean, he still plays with a lot of fire and passion, but in his own words, Rock, he says that offered the kind of stability that gets his family settled, and he can then concentrate on baseball and not live and die with every at-bat like he did when he first came to the big leagues. Prince hits one deep to right. He's watching this one fly. Goodbye. We are tied. Just like that, the big fella delivers one into right field. A 3-run shot. His terrific month of May continues.
Well,
a 3-run bomb.
When he hits them, they stay hit. Ryan Hanigan, you see his reaction. Check it out. He knew right away this ball game was all tied up. Boy, right down the middle of the plate, and he knew it. Boy, he's seeing the ball well. What a month of May for this guy. 9 home runs.
And 12 on the season now for Fielder. A 2-strike home run at that. Fielder, just like he did last night, gives the Brewers an early shot. Reminiscent of the September that Fielder put together last year. As Cameron goes into right center. That won't carry. Bruce has it for out number 2.
Just such a nice, easy approach. A nice, easy swing for Prince. Not coming out of his shoes. And, point of contact, perfect. Getting good extension. And when he hits him like that, he's keeping him fair. A lot of times a guy will see a pitch down the middle of the plate, try and jump at it and hook it foul. But look at the approach by Prince. Right where you want it. Catches that ball right on the sweet spot.
Here's Corey Hart with 2 outs and a little flare that's going to fall. And Hart thinking about 2. Bruce has one of the strongest arms in baseball. And Hart doesn't test him here.
Yeah, you don't want to run on that guy. 7 outfield assists for Jay Bruce. That's tied for first in the NL. A gun and very accurate.
Brewers now with 56 home runs. Only the Phillies have hit more, and Ibanez has done a lot of that damage for Philadelphia. Fielder's 12th has it tied at 3. Here is Billy Hall in the lineup tonight, primarily because of his career statistics against Aaron Harang. It's impressive what Hall has been able to do against Harang, and we're talking about a large sample size as well. 16 hits and 44 at-bats. That's a .364 average. And of those 16 hits, Rock, 3 home runs against the big hurler.
Well, for most of his career, it didn't really matter who was on the mound as long as it was the Cincinnati Red. He tore these guys up for a while. Hadn't been really the case lately, but early on, Billy loved to face the Reds, both here and in Cincinnati.
Yeah, they call him the Reds killer in Cincinnati. Something about those red seats, he used to say. Hall would like to get something going here. He's struggling at the plate despite a game-winning hit earlier in the homestand. And Ken Maka keeping a close eye on Billy Hall and Matt Gamble. And talking to Ken Maka before the game in the dugout, and we were all asking him about Matt Gamble, Billy Hall, the situation at third base, and would Gamble be back in there tomorrow? He said it depends on how Billy does tonight.
No, it's not like Matt Gamble's not going to cover off the baseball either. I mean, Matt's not really been swinging the bat like he did down in AAA. If that was the case, he might be in there tonight. That's the old adage, right? The players actually do fill out the lineup card. The bat plays, particularly when your team is struggling to score runs, and the Brewers right now are. They're in a stretch of 10 games where they haven't scored more than 4 runs.
Ken Maka in that position right now. It's a delicate balance because you've got the young prospect, you've got Bill Hall, who's put up numbers. You certainly can't allow Gamble to sit the bench too often. He's a guy who needs to play every day. He is an everyday player and has been playing every day in AAA. And on the other side, you need Bill Hall to find his stroke and contribute to the offensive production for the ball club. Hall's a better defender at third base at this point of his career. 1-2 with Hart at first. And Hall hanging tough. Maka said he liked what Hall was able to do in his last start. Had some good at-bats, hit the ball hard despite nothing to show for it. But, you know, managers and hitting coaches are looking at more than just hits or not. I mean, it's about approach. It's about how they take pitches. Hart takes off and Hall strikes out. So Harang strikes out a pair, but Prince Fielder with one swing of the bat ties it up, and the Brewers get a mulligan tonight. Fielder launches number 12, and it's 3-3. Prince hits one deep to right. He's watching this one fly. Goodbye. We are tied. Just like that. The big fella. Fielder with one swing of the bat evens the score here as we head to the second. Hey, it's take your Wendell to work day apparently at Miller Park. Serving beer, working the cameras.
Take your Wendell to work day.
Nice pickup by Billy Hall. And Gonzalez is retired, 1 pitch and 1 out. It's got to be a nice lift for Dave Bush to give up 3 runs and then be able to come out for the second inning all tied again.
Well, these starting pitchers know that if they give up some runs early, as long as they keep it to within reason, this offense sooner or later is going to break out. It's been a while since they really broke out and really laid one on somebody. Of course, Aaron Harang would be a tough one to do it on. But settle down, you keep the Reds off the board for a few innings and might pick yourself up a win. It's happened before.
Ryan Hannigan, the Reds catcher. Hannigan's going to continue to see a lot of playing time here lately. There's that stat you were talking about, Rock. The Brewers 4 runs or less in their last 10 games. Already with 3 tonight. And winning with 3 hits last night. The Brewers have been able to put some pretty good wins on the board this year with very few hits.
Yeah, last road trip only 2 hits in St. Louis. One of them a home run. Won the game 1-0. That's what you call making the most of your hits.
Well, and the Brewers have won 2 games on this homestand. They're only 2 wins with 3 hits in each of those games. They beat the Cardinals 1-0 on 3 hits back on Monday. Three and 1 the count on Hannigan. And he takes ball 4. Hannigan put together some good at-bats last night.
Brewer just can't throw this guy strikes. It was Hannigan's spot in the order. He got pinch hit for Brandon Phillips, who ended up trying to bunt for a base hit, but Hannigan has walked 3 times in a row.
See the Firestone leaderboard up above. Lowest opponent batting average. The Brewers second in the league to only the Los Angeles Dodgers. Harang drops a bunt down. Fielder's got it. Out number 2. A sacrifice bunt for the Reds pitcher. And the Reds with a runner in scoring position to go back to the top of the order.
Yeah, the Reds lead the National League in sacrifice bunts. 32 of them.
And yet it was the lack of a sacrifice bunt last night that had everybody talking after the game.
Scratching your head. You see that situation last night, you go right to the stats saying maybe they don't bunt much, but they do. No National League team drops down more sack bunts than the Reds, but not last night. Good thing.
Dusty was playing a hunch last night. Dickerson grounded into the first double play of the year. Dickerson singled in the first inning. He scored on Hairston's homer. In the leadoff spot tonight for Willie Taveras. Taveras nursing a sore hamstring tonight. Not sure of his availability this evening. Even if he does play, he is going to be slow moving. That one's lined right field line. That's a fair ball, and another run's going to score. Dickerson has 2 hits, and he is motoring around second on his way to third. Chris Dickerson with a 2-out triple, an RBI triple, and the Reds have a 4-3 lead here in the second.
That did a nice job waiting back and golfing that curveball down and in from Dave Bush. Well, lefties like it down and in. And he raked it just inside that right field line. You can't say it was a bad pitch. Went down and got it. His second hit in as many innings. Well, just nice and easy. Left-handers, especially right-handed throwing left-handed batters, he got that dominant hand pulling that bat through the strike zone, making them very good low ball hitters.
Well, the walk comes in to score. And here is Hairston, who hit a 2-run homer his last time up. Hairston has not been known as a home run hitter, but he already has 7 this year. Here comes Dickerson. The pitch to Bush, and it's in time. Dickerson makes the final out at home plate. Oh, a base running mistake, and the Brewers able to wiggle off the hook here in the 2nd inning.
Guy. He threw out the first pitch, and I'm pleased to be joined by him now. And Wendell, you've been able to accomplish a lot in your acting career, but how much fun is it doing those Miller High Life commercials?
Man, I tell you, it's nothing like it, boy. Living the high life, I can do this every day, and for the last few years I have been. So I'm enjoying it. I'm glad to be back here in Milwaukee. I feel like I'm always coming home.
And how often do people really believe you're a delivery guy?
Oh, man, I get asked that question all the time, and I tell them, I said, hey, let me tell you, I'm an honorary member. I said, my boys work hard delivering that beer. So I'm an honorary member, but I'm an actor in Los Angeles, and so I'm playing the delivery man.
All right, now what's the best part or the best thing about being the Miller High Life delivery guy?
I guess it's what it represents. You know what I mean? The simple, hard-working people. You know what I mean? And just like we say, we got common sense. That's what we all about. So the best part is I'm meeting the people I'm representing, just like here at the Brewers game today. I'm meeting the fans of the Brewers and also of the High Life. And so I'm taking pictures and hanging out and having a good time, and that's what brings the most enjoyment to me.
Well, that answer surprises me because I thought it was going to be the company you keep is the best part about this.
But this is the High Life, these beautiful ladies that I get to travel around with. That's part of my entourage, as they call it, the High Life entourage.
Well, Wendell, thanks for your time and enjoy the rest of the game.
All right, thank you, buddy.
All right, Brian, back to you.
All right, thanks a lot, Telly. Telly right at home out there as well.
Yes, sir.
By the way, with the entourage from Miller.
You know, I got to figure out a way, you know, when I walk around town, maybe go to the grocery store, have somebody with a sign behind me, maybe Milwaukee Brewers, something like that.
I'm surprised they don't do that already.
That's awesome.
You are a big star.
That's awesome. Wendell's the greatest.
He is a very funny man, and good to have him here at the ballpark. We had him out here last year, and he was such a hit. You know, every time I see Wendell and you think about the Miller commercials, your mind immediately goes back to the Miller All-Stars.
Yeah.
You know, the Miller Lite All-Stars and Bob Uecker and all those great commercials. Done a terrific job over the years as the Miller Coors Company and producing those great spots, memorable spots.
You know, I got a Wendell bobblehead last year.
That's right.
He signed it. He signed it right on top of his head. I got that back at home. That's one of the few bobbleheads that I keep at the house.
Now, Wendell was in the booth last year, and the refrigerator that Rock has up here was also emptied in a different kind of way than what Wendell normally empties refrigerators.
Right. He wasn't upset with me. There was no $15 can of tuna in here.
That's right. Well, Harang has 2 up and 2 down here in the second inning. 3 strikeouts now for Harang, back to the top of the order in Council. Kind of a wild start to this one. Council singled to lead it off for the Brewers offensively in the bottom of the first. He and Hardy with back-to-back hits. And then Fielder hit the 3-run homer. Council making his 23rd start of the year. This is game 49, and that one is down the right field line. Foul. Just got out ahead of it. Rock, let's take you back to the play that ended the top of the second for the Reds. Dickerson thrown out at the plate.
It was Dickerson. He's going to start and then stop. At that point, you just got to forget it and go back to third base. Any hesitation whatsoever, that's going to cost you an out. If he went right away, he might have been safe.
Dickerson making the final out at home plate after he tripled in the go-ahead run in the second. 1-2 to Council.
That was a nice play by Mike Rivera. He boxed it. I mean, the ball never hit the dirt. It was just one of those that he couldn't catch. Didn't know where it was right away. Didn't panic and made a nice shovel pass over to Dave Bush, who was covering the plate. That's a lonely feeling when you can't see a ball initially. You pick it up and then you make the play.
A lazy fly ball into left. This is Nix. And that is the inning. Harang, a 1-2-3 frame. We head to the third at Miller Park. Fox Sports Wisconsin is presented by Claims Farm and Fleet. You'll always find value at your local Farm and Fleet. By Piggly Wiggly, shop the pig and save. And by Ho Chunk Gaming Wisconsin. Beautiful night for baseball. A Saturday night here in Milwaukee. And the Reds out 4-3 in the early going. A lot of offense already. And we've already seen 3 home runs. Cincinnati got home runs from Jerry Hairston and Brandon Phillips in the first. Prince Fielder a 3-run shot to tie it in the bottom of the first. Hairston was at the plate when Dickerson was thrown out at home trying to swipe the run from Dave Bush and the Brewers.
Yeah, the other play other thing interesting about that play that ended that top of the second, Dickerson didn't have a very big lead off of third base. But particularly when you have a guy, Bush with that big curveball, a lot of times it ends up in the dirt. You got to get that big secondary lead. No reason to be that close to third base. Got to get off as far as you can, at least as far as the third baseman is away from third base. Sounds like a good instructional for tonight.
I think that would be an excellent idea.
Maybe a secondary lead at third.
Secondary lead at third. Equidistant with the third baseman. Hairston down on strikes. Rivera, nice job blocking that pitch. And he secures the strikeout at first. And it's out number one. Second strikeout for Dave Bush. And that leads us to our carsoup.com email the booth question. Brian in Evansville wants to know, what is the purpose of the infield fly rule and when does it go into effect?
Well, the purpose of the infield fly rule is so that the defense can't purposely let a pop up to the infield drop and turn a double play. Automatically out. Even if they do let it drop, the batter is out and the runners advance at their own risk. First and second, either one out or no outs. Infield fly rule.
Because back in the old days, they used to let it drop before the rule was implemented. You let it drop, you turn a triple play, the inning is over.
And sometimes, maybe a base runner might not know the rule. So maybe you let it go off your glove and see what the runners do. The batter's automatically out. So if the guys take off, you can get another out of it. Guys got to know the rules when they're out there.
Runners proceed at their own risk. And you'll see the umpires call it right away if you're into that spot. It's got to be a minimum of first and second and less than 2 outs. Umpires call it right away, and usually the umpire belts it out a few times so everybody can hear.
Raise their hand up in the air. Yeah, first and second minimum and bases loaded.
Ball and 2 strikes. Bush has Jay Bruce down in the count. Bruce, a talented young hitter. He's only 22 years of age. He made a bid at Rookie of the Year last year. He and Votto were among the finalists for that award, won by Giovanni Soto. Sound went off on the PA system here as everybody evacuated from home plate. And Bush strikes out Bruce on that same curveball. Third strikeout, and the second time he's punched out Jay Bruce in this game.
Now, Jay Bruce apparently having some issues with the off-speed stuff. We saw him strike out on Trevor Hoffman's changeups, and now a couple of times on the Dave Bush curveball. Hey, fans, don't forget, elect your favorite Brewers to the 2009 All-Star team this year. Vote early, vote often, and vote Brewers now through July 2nd at Brewers.com.
J.J. Hardy and Ryan Braun top their positions. The first issuing of the All-Star fan results. Coming up on 4 decades now where the fans able to vote the starters in. From 1958 to 1969, the All-Star teams were selected by the players and managers and coaches. But in 1970, they went to the fan balloting, and it's been a huge success. Always a lot of fun to see how fans vote and what kind of impact a particular city's fans can have. And we certainly saw it last year with the fans here in Milwaukee. They made their votes count a season ago.
Yeah, a couple of times the Brewer fans have been able to elect that 30th guy. Jeff Jenkins one year, Corey Hart one year, and Brewer fans well represented in the All-Star battle.
No balls and 2 strikes on Phillips. Little bouncer to Prince. Tough hop, but he's got it. And Bush right there for him. Boy, Prince handled a wicked hop on a little squibber from Brandon Phillips. And the inning ends. A 3-up, 3-down inning for Bush. We head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. And J.J. Hardy, Taco Bell, who's hot as he steps up to the plate. Hardy, in his career against Harang, look at the slugging percentage, the extra base hits he is tabulating against this big right-hander. J.J.'s really swinging the bat well as of late. He's got his batting average up to 245. Hardy had a hit his first time up against Harang. He was hitless last night, but a couple of line drive outs. He feels like he is right where he needs to be offensively, and that one hit well into center, but right at Dickerson for out number 1. I told you about Braun and Hardy leading the way in the National League All-Star balloting. They'll have 6 press releases on the All-Star balloting to catch you up. A couple of Cardinals in there with Pujols and Molina. Beltran and Wright representing the New York Mets. Soriano, the lone Cub, and Chase Utley, the second baseman. I really think Ricky Weeks might have had a chance this year.
Yeah,
just too bad.
He was off to a really good start, no doubt about that. But you know, it's amazing how well the fans do in picking the team. I mean, you really don't have any issue with anybody they're picking and they're voting for. They do a good job. I think that the fans should vote for the All-Star team.
Braun tries to bunts it foul. It's been a big topic of conversation here the last couple of days. Manny Ramirez is inside the top 5 in fan voting, and of course he's out with a 50-game suspension, and you know that would be an interesting scenario for Manny Ramirez. And Joe Torre has asked Manny Ramirez, or told the media anyway, that he would ask Ramirez not to appear if he was in fact voted in, which is an interesting comment from Torre.
I've got to believe as July 2nd approaches, I think Manny's going to fall by the wayside. I think baseball fans are take it seriously enough to realize that Manny does not deserve to be on the All-Star team this year. But we'll see.
You miss 50 games, especially the reason he's missing 50 games. You probably shouldn't be in an All-Star scenario. Speaking of our U.S. Cellular text to vote question, you can weigh in on this issue. Text W for yes, X for no. Should Manny Ramirez play in the All-Star game if voted in? W for yes, X for no. Keep that going throughout the ball game and have the results a little bit later. No balls and 2 strikes on Braun. Hoping for a second consecutive appearance at the Midsummer Classic.
I just wonder how much it affected him getting hit on the wrist about a week ago.
Braun just lays out for one, and that's a base hit. Like a tennis backhand, Ryan Braun just serves it over the net. And a base hit, and that gets Fielder up with a man on. Fielder is among leaders in the Home Run Derby All-Star voting contest right now, and we had a chance to catch up with Prince about making it to the All-Star game.
That's cool, anytime the fans want to see, anybody, not just me or any kind of player, you gotta, you should feel honored just because, they obviously like the way you play, and, it's makes you feel good too.
Fielder said if he is elected or selected, he would definitely compete in the Home Run Derby. If there was ever a competition that was tailor-made for Prince Fielder, it's the Home Run Derby, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. He puts on a show in batting practice, but the Home Run Derby is a lot different, a lot more stress on you than it is, regular batting practice. You're out there all by yourself.
And no cage.
No cage. Maybe you got the lights going. I wonder who he would take. You think he'd take Dale?
As his batting practice pitcher?
Yeah.
Well, Braun last year was in the Home Run Derby, had his agent, Nez Balello, throwing batting practice to him. Or I don't know. Maybe you, Rock.
No.
He likes your BP,
I'd choke. Too much pressure on me. I'll be the first to admit it. Of course, the drive wouldn't be too far. You just drive on down to St. Louis.
Yeah, well, I'm sure Prince, would get some accommodation set up for you.
You think?
think he can make it happen.
I don't think there's any question that Dale Swain throws the best BP of any coach.
Fielder gets jammed, but that one's going to fall for a base hit. And the Brewers with back-to-back singles against Aaron Harang with 1 out here in the 3rd.
Well, he mentioned Aaron Harang in 5 innings his last time out gave up 10 hits in a win. He will give up hits, but he gets his outs. He'll get his ground ball outs as well. Boy, already 6 hits for the Crew. A little bit down on the trademark. And with Jay Bruce playing very deep and right for Prince, no chance to get there.
So back-to-back hits for the Brew Crew, and here is Cameron now. Cameron flew out to right his last time up. Harang dots the outside corner with a fastball. Cameron has been quiet as of late at the plate. Took the collar last night. He was 0 for 3. Did have a 2-hit game on Tuesday against St. Louis.
Hitters are streaky. I mean, not too many guys are going to be able to get their hits day in and day out. There's only so many Albert Pujols in the league. A guy that just stays consistent for 6 months. You go through highs, you go through lows. You just gotta, battle. You gotta battle in those times when you're not getting hits. And in Mike Cameron's case, he's done a nice job battling and taking his walks. On base percentage, 100 points almost higher than his batting average.
Hitting coach Dale Swain keeping a close eye on Cameron. 2 on, 1 out. And Cameron strikes out. So Harang stayed away from him. Big fastball on the corner. Second out of the inning. Let's hear from Telly Hughes. What's going on, Telly?
Guys, we're seeing Corey Hart come up to bat. He got a single his first time up, and I caught up with Dale Swain during BP to see what Corey has been working on during that extra BP he's been taking as of late. And he said he's been having a looping swing, so he wants to make sure he stayed on top of the ball and flatten out that swing. And Rock, you should know something about this. He said everybody talks about all the mechanics and things like that, but it all came to the release point and picking it up. And that's been something that Corey Hart has been having trouble with. But last night he was obviously able to pick it up when he went deep for that 435-foot home run.
Yeah, it's all about staying back. And, Prince Fielder does it very well day in and day out. But when you're not swinging the bat well, you're not getting hits. You want to jump out at the baseball because you're jumping, you're moving around. You don't see it out of the hand all that well. You're not able to wait back and take pitches out of the zone. And because you have to be quick and you're not seeing the ball well, the bat is in and out of the strike zone very quickly. That's what he's talking about, a loop. When you see Prince Fielder swing, when you see a lot of these guys swinging when they're going well, that bat stays in the strike zone, it seems like forever. You might not hit it right on the sweet spot. You're going to hit it hard somewhere.
0-2 the count on Hart with 2 on. And that one just missed. Harang has had pretty good command on that outside corner.
Yeah, that four-seamer. It looks as though Gary Cederstrom's giving him just a little bit off the outside corner. Nothing wrong with that as long as you're consistent throughout the night.
Braun at second, Fielder at first. And that one just missed. The other part of Corey Hart's mechanical adjustments, he's 6'6", and that just comes with the territory when you're that tall. And although he can cover a lot of the plate, there's a lot of breakdown involved for any player of that size. On the ground out to Phillips. And the Gold Glove second baseman makes a good throw. Something to watch tonight with that broken thumb. Inning is over. in the books here at Miller Park, and it started with a bang tonight. Jerry Hairston, a 2-run homer. The second batter, Dave Bush, faced. Brandon Phillips also had a home run. And Prince Fielder tied it with a 3-run shot in the first. After the Reds went up 3-0, Fielder evened the score. The Reds have regained the lead here. Triple by Chris Dickerson with 2 outs, scored Ryan Hannigan in the second inning. So it's 4-3 Cincinnati. We head to the 4th inning. Lance Nix leads off. He'll be followed by Hernandez and then Gonzalez. Dave Bush has 3 strikeouts. He's given up 2 walks. And at this point, 4 runs on 4 hits. Good off speed there. And it's a ball and 2 strikes on Lance Nix.
Yeah, that changeup is always a very good pitch for Bush, particularly against lefties. You might see him throw that to Dickerson after Dickerson hammered that curveball down the right field line. And 4-seamer, cutter, curveball, changeup for Dave Bush. And then he's got that fastball that he tails back over the plate. A lot of times they'll start inside to a left-handed hitter and then catch the inside corner. Here comes one right now.
Three and 2 to Nix. And missed badly. It's a leadoff walk. Second time Nix has walked in this game. And the Reds have a leadoff man aboard. Aflac! Our Aflac trivia question tonight. In his next appearance, who will Trevor Hoffman pass on the all-time games leaders list? You already know he's the all-time saves leader. But he is climbing the charts on the games played as well. Hoffman's been terrific. 12 for 12. Still has not given up a run. And quite a luxury to have. A bona fide hammer in that bullpen. The successful bullpen. Apparently Jorge Julio lost a bet. It's a good time to work on your paper or your balloon animals.
Yeah.
You know, take it up to about the 4th, 5th inning or so.
Now, where do you get balloons out in the bullpen?
Magically appear. Who's in charge of the backpack these days, I wonder?
Let's see, the guy with the least amount of service.
Counsell's got it. Throw to first. In time. A double play. Close play. Nix got caught off the bag. And 2 quick outs with 1 swing of the bat for Dave Bush.
No, just a little bit too far for Lance Nix. Pretty close at first base. Jim Wolf, first base umpire, rings him up over there. Snap throw by Craig Counsell. I guess that would be DeFelice, wouldn't he?
DeFelice
got the least amount of time in the big leagues.
Yeah.
He's in charge of the gum, the candy, the balloons, those types of things in that bag.
And haircuts.
He gives a good haircut, doesn't
he? He does. Tough to get an appointment, though, you know, for non-uniform personnel. All of those goodies packaged up nicely in some sort of pink backpack.
Sunflower seeds in there, pumpkin seeds.
Mm-hmm. That one's hit well into deep center field. Cameron's turned his back, and that's going to bounce out of here on 1 hop. Alex Gonzalez with a big double into center field. That one had some serious carry to it.
I think Gonzalez gave that one a pretty good ride. Looked like he was out on his front foot. He kept his hands back and able to drive it to the warning track. Pretty good power on that swing. That cut fastball, you see how he's out in front, but the hands stay back. A one-handed swing, and Cameron has to go back, and one hops the wall. Put a charge into that one.
Ground rule double for Gonzalez. And here's Ryan Hanigan now with a base open at first. 4-3 Reds. We play in the 4th inning. With Joey Votto on the disabled list. And if you're just joining us, the Reds placing their star slugger on the DL today with stress-related issues. And Hanigan's going to see a lot of playing time behind the plate. It forces Dusty Baker to move Hernandez, the regular catcher, over to first base, which gives Hanigan a chance. Hanigan's really had a nice year offensively. I was talking to Kim Maka about Hanigan before the game. He said he was a little bit surprised that Hanigan was pinch hit for last night. He put together some of the best at-bats of the game.
Yeah, he's hitting about 330. I mean, so he does have a pretty good idea at the plate.
Never been known for his offense. He's an excellent defender behind the plate.
The problem that you have when you have both of your catchers in the game, you really can't pinch run or pinch hit for either one of them on an ordinary night. There's a pitch that has been sometimes called a strike, that time not. You get Hernandez, he gets on first base late in the game. You really can't pinch run for him because you have no other catcher in case something happens to Hanigan and vice versa.
The Reds did promote Wilkin Castillo from AAA today. Infielder, outfielder who has caught in the past. So Dusty Baker made sure to replace someone who can catch. He'd be kind of like the Casey McGee in that scenario, an emergency catcher. Because his two catchers are going to be playing pretty much every day until Votto comes back.
Can catch, but would prefer not to.
Little bouncer up the middle and a base hit. And Gonzalez is going to score. Ryan Hanigan keeps at it.
Well, you got the pitcher on deck. Get ahead of him 0-2 and make a mistake. And Hanigan bounces one right back through the middle and another run in. Boy, you hate to see that. With 2 outs, first base open, and the pitcher on deck. He wanted to backdoor that tailing fastball, left it down the middle, and Hanigan drives in the 4th run. Check that, 5th run for Cincinnati. That hurts.
Only the 4th RBI of the year for Hanigan. And now here is Harang, the Reds pitcher. And he launches one into left field. Braun is going back. And this one's over his head. This one's off the wall. Hanigan is going to try to score. Here comes the throw from Hardy. One hop. The tag. He is out at home. Braun to Hardy to Rivera. And another out at home plate tonight for the Brew Crew.
a celebration that included handing off the keys to some new Habitat homeowners. The event also included Brewers Charities purchasing gift cards for 12 families who will be new Habitat homeowners so they can purchase needed items. A great cause today, guys.
All right, Telly, thanks a lot. And that is a good cause, and good job by our crew getting some footage of that. Sellout crowd on hand tonight at Miller Park. And Rock, on 2 occasions here tonight, the Reds have gotten the final out at home plate blown up on a couple of pretty good plays defensively.
Yeah, heads-up plays. The first time it was Mike Rivera able to go after a ball that he wasn't able to catch. Dave Bush able to get the out at home plate. Dickerson, not a very big lead at third base and a bad jump. They were able to get him at home plate. Now, that saved the run for the Brewers. And a perfectly executed relay, Ryan Braun to J.J. Hardy. And the reason they were able to get that out was because of J.J. Hardy's strong arm. A one-hopper to Rivera, and they were able to get him easily at home plate. Good fundamentals by the Brewers on 2 occasions have kept this to an only a 2-run deficit.
5-3 Cincinnati. Reds had 3 straight hits in the top of this frame, but Harang's double unable to produce a run. And notice how far J.J. Hardy went out there, cutting off that distance. Couldn't have 2 better arms between Braun and Hardy to get it to home plate. I think the Reds thought for sure Hannigan was going to be able to score on that.
Well, I think that a shortstop or any infielder that has to make that play has to realize, how far can I go out and still make a strong throw to home plate? I mean, if you don't have a good arm, you can't go out that far. You just can't. I mean, the farther you can go out, the better off the team is to execute that play, because the first throw, if it's too long, you have to get too much air under it, and you're not going to be able to get the ball to home plate in time. So a great job by J.J. to get out there, and because he has such a good arm, able to get out there deep into left field.
Billy Hall flies out to center field. Let's give you another look. This is a really good perspective of what we're talking about here, from Braun to Hardy to Rivera.
Well, you don't really have to rush the throw. Look how far out J.J. Hardy is. Not too many shortstops are going to be able to be out that far. And just in case, either Ryan Braun short hops J.J. or throws it over his head. Craig Counsell was the trailer in that play. So if J.J. got a short hop and he didn't feel like he could handle it, that ball would have gone right to Craig Counsell. J.J. would have let it go on purpose, and then maybe Craig Counsell would be able to make a relay throw.
And a bit of a tip your hat to Mike Rivera as well. Remember, it was a collision at the plate that sent Rivera to the disabled list. And when he rolled his ankle against the Pirates, Rivera is one of those Mike Scioscia type catchers. You know, he's a Bill Schroeder kind of guy. He'll just squat down right there at home plate and says, "Okay, go through me if you want to get to the dish.
Take your punishment," right?
And Rivera, you know, I've been anxious to see the next play at the plate, how he handles it, and it's good for him that he just stood right in there.
Yeah. That's kind of a badge of honor. I mean, a catcher, it's one thing to get a guy out, but I mean, catchers, like, they take pride in the fact the guy never touched home plate. You know, that's what you want to do. Not only do you want to get the out, you want to make him stop on a dime. That's when you know you've really done a good job. Sometimes you can't do that. You know, Hannigan slide. I mean, he's a catcher too. He knows what what Mike Rivera was up to. He knew what he was going to try and do, so he was able to adjust his slide.
That's why you'd never slide in head first at home plate unless you're trying to avoid a tag. You're doing a sweep slide around a catcher.
Unless you want to dig your teeth out of a shin guard.
That's right. Or your shoulder out of the ground. Who was the best, in your opinion, at that? Was it Scioscia?
Oh, yeah. No doubt. I mean, Dodgers catcher Mike Scioscia, he took a lot of pride in it and looked forward to it. A lot of catchers do it, but they don't enjoy it much, you know? It's one of those things. But you talk about a guy that hardly ever got to home plate on a close play.
Rivera tomahawks one into left field. A base hit, and that one gets by Lance Nix. And Rivera on his way to second. Well, a costly error for the Reds. Puts a Brewer into scoring position. Nix is a very good outfielder. But he commits an error here.
Just took his eye off a little bit. That'll be a single and an error. E7 on Lance Nix. Mike Rivera able to get on top of a pitch that Harang left in the middle of the plate. And Nix just booted it. And Rivera into second base. Just rolled right up his glove.
First error of the year for Lance Nix. And that makes the decision a little easier for Ken Maka here. Pitcher spot due up, Dave Bush, with Rivera now in scoring position. Bush is going to be lifted from this game. So the starting pitcher is out after 4 innings and 5 earned runs.
Yeah, shortest start of the year for Bush. Just wasn't his night.
Jody Garrett will pinch hit. Garrett traded from the Padres to the Brewers during the last road trip. Milwaukee sending Tony Gwynn Jr. over to San Diego. Garrett does have a hit, made a couple of starts, mostly in a pinch hitting role. And from what we've seen so far, Garrett loves to be aggressive early in the count. Rivera at second. Reds have good arms in their outfield all the way around. A breaking ball from Harang on a 2-0 count gets him back in it.
And talking to Dale around the batting cage today, he said from time to time Harang will flip up a curveball to a left-hander, but an interesting time for it. 2-0. Able to throw it for a strike.
Garrett has the count in his favor. Top of the order would be next, another lefty in Craig Counsell. Garrett fouls it away. 3-2. Garrett in San Diego this year had 4 homers and 14 runs batted in. Doug Melvin has kept an eye on Garrett the last few years. He likes his bat. One of the reasons he wanted to go ahead and make the trade for Tony Gwynn and get Garrett in a Brewers uniform. He had 296 a year ago. 3-2. Struck him out. Harang comes right after him with a fastball. And it is out number 2. Aflac. Back to our Aflac trivia question. In his next appearance, who will Trevor Hoffman pass on the all-time games leaders list? Aflac. That appearance might be tonight, and if so, Hoffman will surpass Raleigh Fingers. The all-time games pitched list, 945 with Hoffman's next one, and that would get him to 15. Todd Jones is up there. The Reds have a couple of guys who are high on that list, Weathers and Arthur Rhodes.
Remember Lindy McDaniel?
I don't remember Lindy.
He was a pitcher back in my day, growing up in New Jersey, going to Yankee Stadium. He was a Yankee pitcher, Lindy McDaniel. My first autograph as a kid, standing around outside Yankee Stadium. I got one of them. He signed one. And then somebody gave him something and ran off. He said, anybody want an autograph here? I got an autograph here. So I grabbed another. So I got 2 Lindy McDaniels.
2 Lindy McDaniels.
I kind of felt bad for him. Nobody wanted it.
Yeah.
You want him
you
standing
obliged.
there?
He still talks about that to this day. Inspired a future big leaguer in Bill Schroeder.
Lindy McDaniel, yeah.
See, that's the reason to get an autograph. To get up close to a player.
And I remember that story, right? It made an impact.
Yeah. Getting a little emotional on me up here, aren't you? In the dirt, good play by Hannigan. 2 balls and a strike to count on Counsell. Brewers trying to cash in here in the 4th inning. Harang has not been his normal self tonight, but he still has the lead. 3-run home run in the 1st inning. The Brewers scored 3 runs on 4 hits in the 1st and have 7 hits against Harang tonight. Down a pair, however, in the 4th. Two and 2. Aaron Harang pitched for Ken Maka in Oakland just for one season as Maka's first year as the Oakland skipper. Back in 2003, Harang was a bright young prospect, and the A's were in a pennant race. They traded him to Cincinnati for Jose Guillen. That one is to the screen. Down goes the bull, and Rivera to third base.
That might have been a cross-up right there. That was a fastball that I don't think Hannigan even got a glove on. Let's see. Very late. I think he was expecting that ball to break. I mean, hardly even moved his glove.
Wonder what Gary Cederstrom was thinking about right there. You know, you could hear the seams going by you that time, right by his left ear. 3-2 to Counsell, and there is a drive into deep right center field. This one's well hit, and it is run down. And this ball is caught.
Wow.
Chris Dickerson with an unbelievable catch in right center.
My goodness. Boy, it doesn't get much better than that.
One of the best you'll see in this ballpark. Dickerson a long way and hauls it in, saves a run for the Reds. Start tonight, he is delivered with 2 hits and makes this unbelievable catch in deep right center, robbing Craig Counsell of not only extra bases but also an RBI with 2 outs. That was some kind of play by the Red center fielder.
Man did a nice job avoiding injury. I mean, that could have been one of those Rick Ankiel moments. Up against that padding out there in right center. As good as it gets for Chris Dickerson. Wow.
5-3, the Reds lead the Brewers as we head to the 5th inning. Milwaukee has a new pitcher. Dave Bush was pinch hit for. And it'll be Seth McClung to take over now in the 5th inning, and he'll have the top of the order.
Well, Big Seth's been throwing the baseball pretty well. McClung last pitched on Tuesday against the Cardinals. It's been a while for Seth. 2 1/3. Gave up a couple of runs and 3 walks. And guess who's leading off?
Chris Dickerson bats for the 3rd time with 2 hits and an RBI. He tripled in a run in the 2nd inning, and then he was thrown out at the plate trying to score on a pitch that got away from Rivera. Willie Taveras scratched from the starting lineup tonight. He was in the original lineup that Dusty Baker posted on his clubhouse door. Taveras, though, a sore right hamstring, so Dickerson was inserted, and boy, has he had a game. And another base hit. That's his 3rd hit of the game. Cincinnati with another leadoff man aboard.
Hey fans, if you're traveling and can't watch the Brewers on Fox Sports Wisconsin. You can always catch the game on your computer with MLB.tv. It's the ultimate baseball experience with 100 out-of-market games every week live on your computer. And you can catch those you missed on demand. For details, go to Brewers.com.
Downtown Milwaukee, just a few miles east of Miller Park. Hairston squares the bunt, takes a strike. A lot of baseball already in the books today from the major leagues. Cubs shut out the Dodgers today, 7-0. Dempster combined for the shutout today at Wrigley Field, so the Dodgers drop back-to-back games. Starting the day, the National League Central had 4 teams over 500. The only division in baseball who can boast that. Cubs go to 25-23 with the win today. The Brewers and the Cardinals in a first-place tie in the Central Division. Cardinals tonight are against San Francisco in San Francisco. Late start out on the West Coast. Matt Cain did a number on the Cardinals last night. San Francisco won the opener of that series. Cardinals did get Ludwig back in their lineup. Rick Ankiel still day-to-day, not back on the disabled list.
You gotta wonder what's going on with Rick Ankiel. Apparently still not able to get out there on an everyday basis. The Cardinals thought he was ready to go, but apparently not.
Ball and 2 strikes. And a fastball misses inside. Chris Carpenter back on the mound tonight for the Cardinals tonight against Barry Zito. Carpenter still has not allowed an earned run this year. 23 innings. It was certainly impressive against the Brewers back on Monday.
Yeah, he's got a tremendous curveball working for him. Boy, if that guy stays healthy, it's going to be tough on the rest of the division. And already pretty good starting rotation. Got a lot better with Carpenter out there.
Yeah, Carpenter and Wainwright at the top of their rotation. Tough team to handle. And you don't figure the Cardinals are going to go through any kind of long losing streak. Hairston off the glove of Billy Hall. That was a tough play for Billy, and that'll be a base hit.
Man, that was a nice play by Hall, just knocking that one down and keeping the double play alive. Wow. Able to throw his glove up there, knock it down. It's going to be a base hit for Hairston. But he kept it close and kept Dickerson at second base.
So Hairston and Dickerson doing some damage tonight. 5 hits combined between the top 2 hitters in this Cincinnati lineup. Hairston hit the 2-run homer in the first inning. They've driven in 3 of the 5 Reds runs as well. And now Bruce sends one deep center field. Cameron, long way to go. And he'll run it down for the out. Dickerson tags. And he stops at third base. So a long out, but a productive out for Bruce. Reds have runners at the corners now with 1 away. And Brandon Phillips coming up.
Yeah, Billy Hall didn't knock down that hot shot down to third base. That would have been a run. As it stands, you know, the deep fly ball gets Dickerson to third, but you still have the possibility of the double play to get you out of the inning. So a good defensive play that you're not going to see in the box score.
Runners at the corners for Cincinnati for Brandon Phillips. In front of a sellout crowd here at Miller Park. Brewers sold out their 10th game of the year last night. Not a better place to be on a night like this, huh?
Gorgeous.
Man, it is hammock weather tonight.
It's good place to be no matter what the weather is. If it's nasty, it's a good place to be with the roof closed. When it's nice, everything's opened up.
This is one of those days when you get the trifecta. You get a little golf, get a little time on the boat, on the lake, and then a little baseball at night.
Yeah. Will you follow me around today?
Is that about how your itinerary looked?
That's the way it went today. If you were following me around, you could have had a Brewers sign behind you.
Yeah, like Wendell.
Like Wendell.
Phillips coming out of his shoes. Phillips hit a home run in the first inning. He hit a curveball out. That was a slider from McClung. I'll tell you what, with a fractured right thumb, anything but a fastball seems like an issue right now.
It's not really affected his swing, though, has it? Still taking a mighty hack up there.
On the ground, chance for two here. Phillips got a late start. Counsell with all day makes the play as he gets run over at second base. And McClung works out of it. 2 aboard to start the inning. Some good defense. First by Hall. And then a nice 6-4-3 double play to end it. Look how tough Counsell hangs in there right here. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. And here we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. 5-3, the Reds lead the Brewers. But the big boys coming up for Milwaukee. Hardy, Braun, and Fielder to start it against Aaron Harang. Corey Hart anxious for an at-bat in this inning. 5 runs on 9 hits for Cincinnati. They've belted 2 homers. The Brewers have 3 runs on 7 hits.
Brewers got a big break in that last inning when Brandon Phillips kind of stumbled as he got out of the batter's box, and Brewers able to turn that double play easily. I mean, Brandon Phillips runs pretty well. Normally he's going to be able to beat that one out.
Hardy back up the middle. Nice play, Gonzalez, and he gets his man. That was a slick play by the Cincinnati shortstop.
Seen some good defense tonight. Good defense back-to-back nights here against the Reds. Billy Hall's played down the line, saving extra bases, able to keep the Reds off the board that inning. Nice play by Dickerson in center to save a run. A couple of plays at the plate for the Brewers. Good fundamentals.
So here is Braun with 1 away. Braun part of a good play that kept the Reds off the scoreboard. He started a relay throw, went Braun to Hardy to Rivera and cut down a run. That was back in the 4th inning. Let's take you back to the top of this frame, Rock, and you're talking about the play Hall made. That had a big impact on the inning.
Yeah, that ball gets down the line in 2nd and 3rd, and that fly ball that Bruce hit would have scored a run. As it stood, it was only a man at 3rd, but Craig Counts really hanging in there nicely to end that inning. Hairston was kind of nice to him. He could have been a lot tougher at the bag at 2nd. But still in all, Craig hanging in there.
That one's well hit, deep left center field. Ryan Braun has hit one out. Number 9 for Ryan Braun, and the Brewers are back within a run. A big fly to left center, and Braun's first home run since the 9th of May against the Cubs.
Smoked that one. That one leaked down the middle of the plate. Hannigan wanted it away. You notice with Aaron Harang, he does not throw anything inside. Everything away. Finally making a mistake down the middle of the plate, and Ryan gave it a ride into center field. Big fly for Ryan.
And it's 5-4 Cincinnati. The Brewers within a run with Fielder at the bat. It's got to feel good for Braun. Finally uncorking one here at Miller Park. It had been a while, 21 days for Braun.
About his last at bat, a couple of 0-2 pitches he fouled off. He just kind of got the end of the bat on one, dumped it into center field for a hit. Those are the kind of things that get you going. I mean, it's been a rough homestand for Braun. He did have the double last night, but that base hit the center. A little dumper into center field. That things like that will get you going. A little bit of confidence out there.
Now, Braun had that monster week to start the month of May when he was the National League Player of the Week. At 12 RBIs the first week of May with 3 home runs. Then he went on a little bit of a drought. He still was getting his hits. His average still over 300, but I think you make a good point, Rock. He was hit in the wrist the other day, and you never know. Those little knick-knack injuries, they come back. It kind of takes away your power a little bit.
Especially in the hands. You get hit in the hand or in the wrist, and that really affects you when you're trying to swing the bat.
First time all year Harang has given up multiple home runs in a start. Fielder down the left field line. That is slicing foul. Prince Fielder doing his best Rod Carew impersonation right there.
They're covering the outside corner very well right now, just Prince, because he's letting the ball get to him. Very patient, very relaxed up there.
Fielder hit a blast in the first, a 3-run homer. He raced a Reds 3-run first inning. You put those two against anybody in the big leagues as far as the tandem goes, Braun and Fielder.
Yeah.
3 balls, 2 strikes on Prince. Ooh, had a big cut. That drew some oohs and ahs from this sellout crowd as Fielder takes a mighty hack at that 3-2 pitch.
Yeah, another mistake by Aaron Harang. Left that one belt high. It was middle in, though.
Another payoff against Fielder. That one's hit well. Dickerson cuts it off. Fielder has his 3rd hit of the game.
One thing you could say about Aaron Harang, he doesn't mess around. He throws strikes. He hasn't walked a batter. He's only walked 15 batters all year. Very confident in his stuff. A little bit too much to the plate that time, and Prince Fielder taking it right back through the middle for the Brewers' 9th base hit.
Harang only walking just over 2 batters per 9 innings. His official numbers 2.1 walks per 9 innings. That's third best in the National League. Holding true to form here tonight, but he's giving up a lot of hits for the second straight game. Mike Cameron still hitless. 0 for 2. Harang struck him out with a good fastball his last time up. A long ball here. The Brewers take the lead.
Tough pitch to take right there. Good eye by Cameron. Pretty good slider.
Hannigan sets up away. And the 1-1. And Cameron launches one. Deep left field. And there she goes. Mike Cameron. A 2-run shot. And the Brewers take the lead here in the 5th inning. 6-5 Milwaukee on Cameron's 10th of the year.
Now, there's really no doubting how these guys score their runs, is there? And does anybody think anything else? Home runs, you got to pitch middle in. You know, that pitch was set up by that slider that Cameron took the pitch before. He laid off it. Harang had to throw him a strike, and he belted it into the Brewer bullpen.
The 10th hit of the ball game goes out of the ballpark. And Mike Cameron has career home run number 251, his first since Sunday. And it's a big one. Puts the Brewers on top. A 3-run 5th inning for Milwaukee. Braun and Cameron with home runs. Still just 1 out. And here's Corey Hart.
Isn't it amazing what can happen when you just take a pitch? I mean, by not swinging at that slider, and it was a good one. A very tough pitch to lay off. Harang saying this guy's not going to bite on that. I got to throw him a strike here. Made a mistake and he knocked it out of the ballpark.
Well, the Brewers with 6 runs tonight on 10 hits. Out hitting the Reds 10-9 at this point. Been a wild one here at Miller Park. And feels more like a Brewers game. I mean, you like winning the 3-hit efforts like yesterday.
We like to see him bang though once in a while, right?
It's fun. You know, chicks dig the log ball.
I know it's fun for the hitting coach, that's for sure.
Little half swing. Hart back up the middle. Phillips has it and cannot make a play. Brandon Phillips, knowing the speed of Corey Hart, no chance, especially with that injured thumb on his throwing hand. And it's a base hit for Corey Hart.
Pretty good contact on a check swing. Hit that ball pretty well. Brandon Phillips, you see the way he rolled over on that glove. That's a sprained wrist in the making right there. Harang not able to get there, and as you mentioned, Corey runs too fast. Phillips knew it. That slider got pretty good wood on it.
Just playing a little pepper up there.
Yeah, why not? Not the perfect form that you're looking for, but it was effective.
Here's Bill Hall now. So the Brewers go 10 consecutive games scoring 4 runs or less. But 6 on the board tonight. Home runs from Fielder and Braun and Cameron. Pitch out. Corey was actually on the move at first. He saw the pitch out and stopped. A good move by Hart. The Brewers don't do a lot of running, but that appeared to be a spot where Hart wanted to take off.
Almost threw it the backstop. Another good thing and the encouraging thing about that stat that just threw out there, 10 consecutive games with 4 runs or less. The Brewers won 4 of them.
That's right.
I mean, that's good pitching.
And it means you're able to, avoid that long losing streak. Every team's going to go through its ups and its downs. You just want to avoid that 6-game, 8-game losing streak. And when you win a ball game like they did last night, or like they did on Monday against the Cardinals, that's exactly how you avoid those kind of streaks.
Man, it makes the offense realize they don't have to put up 6-7 runs every night to win games. I mean, that helps. It relaxes everybody, but the pitching staff also knows if they fall behind early like they did again tonight, they have the potential to put up some big numbers.
4 consecutive hits against Harang here in this 5th inning. And now Hall trying to keep it going. Billy is 0 for 2. Hall is the only one among the position players still in the starting lineup without a base hit. Everyone else has had at least a single. Six runs on 11 hits tonight, and we're only in the 5th. On the corner, a called strike, 2-2. And Billy lines that one. That one's well hit into left center. And it's down off the wall. Hart with great speed. He'll try to score. Here comes the throw to the plate. And Corey Hart is in there. A great slide. And Hart beats the tag from Hannigan. 7-5 Milwaukee. Billy Hall doubles. Advances to third on the throw to the plate. And the Brewers have hung 4 runs on Aaron Harang here in the 5th inning.
Well, and Billy did a nice job waiting back and able to hammer that pitch. Looked like an off-speed pitch of some kind into the gap. And how about Corey Hart able to score on that? Lance Nix played that perfectly off the wall. And a beautiful slide to get in there safely for run number 7. Slider. Well, Billy did a nice job with it, stayed back. I think he thought it was out of the ballpark initially. You can see the difference in the relays and the arm strength between the Brewers on the relay and the Cincinnati Reds. Not a very good throw by Nix. Not a very good throw into home plate either. Not much on either throw. Arm strength imperative on those types of plays.
Corey Hart with great speed, able to score all the way from first on a very close play at home plate. Could have gone either way, but Hart is in there. And Hall advances to third, and that is going to mean Aaron Harang is out of this game. A pitching change here at Miller Park. Harang goes 4 to third. Brewers still at work in the 5th. Stay with us.
Well, tonight's time of the game winner is Little Bull Falls in Pittsville, Wisconsin. If they call the Brewers by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, 902-4572, they get 40 tickets to a 2009 Brewers home game. It's offered courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite. And, of course, Wendell.
That's right. Well, taking a look at that play at the play, we synced these up for you. There's the tag on the back of Corey Hart at the exact same moment from the other angle, and it appears they had him. But it's a bang-bang play. It goes in the Brewers' favor, and it's 7-5 as Jared Burton comes on in relief of Aaron Harang, who has given up 7 earned runs in 4 1/3 and still has Hall as his responsibility at third base. Still just 1 out. And Rivera sends one deep to left field. Nick's going back. It's over his head. Hall scores easily. And Rivera on his way to second with an RBI double. 8-5 Milwaukee.
6 straight hits by the Crew. My goodness. Hitting is contagious. First pitch by Jared Burton right down the middle, and Rivera knocks one hop out of the ballpark, and Billy Hall able to score. Well, the bats are heating up. Good to see.
Yeah, Mike Rivera just continues to deliver in limited playing time. 2 hits tonight, an RBI tonight, 6 consecutive hits for the Crew. And here is Seth McClung getting an at-bat. One of these days he's going to make contact and he's going to hit one up into the dew deck. McClung loves to hit. I mean, loves it. He's like, you know, on the outside looking in those. Part of the knothole game. He's not invited to the pitcher's batting practice. That's for starting pitchers.
Yeah. Well, long relievers once in a while will get some time, but
the numbers don't lie. McClung's first career major league hit came against Randy Johnson last year. Lefty on lefty.
Had 2 in 1 game, didn't he?
And both off Johnson.
Yeah.
After his second hit, he said he was in a little bit of fear at the plate. He thought Johnson might put one in his ear. That gets away from Hannigan, and despite a strikeout, McClung will reach first base. So a wild pitch, even when the Reds get an out, a Brewer reaches base. Strikeout and a wild pitch.
Now you got to do better than that. I mean, Hannigan just reaching for that with 2 strikes. You got to block that pitch. So 7 consecutive reach. There it is. Reached for it off the glove and to the backstop, and Big Red gets first base. There's a start anyway. He's on base.
How about the determination on Big Red's face heading down to first? It's kind of like Mercury Morris in the Super Bowl, you know, for the Dolphins.
Sideline boogie.
Here's Counsell. Boy, what an inning here. Counsell, the 9th man in the inning to bat. 5 runs are in.
And the only out of the inning was a hard hit ball by JJ. Ground ball to short.
Can close the book on Harang, by the way. 4 1/3 with 8 earned runs. Even though McClung struck out, I'm not sure Burton has thrown a strike yet.
They threw a strike to Rivera, who wrapped it off the wall.
Rivera's at third, McClung at first, and Counsell chases one. 2 balls and a strike. Took a little off that pitch. Counsell was robbed back in the 4th. He hit a missile out into right center. Chris Dickerson made a terrific catch, one of the best of the year. Robbed him of an RBI. 2-2.
Little late life on that pitch. Looked like a cutter.
Jared Burton in relief of Aaron Harang. Dusty Baker having to go to his bullpen early. Both starters are out. McClung is the pitcher of record on the win side for the Brewers. Good play by Hannigan. And it's 3-2 on Counsell.
They go in the bullpen early, not a usual thing with Harang on the mound. He's averaging over 6 innings per start.
Most earned runs Harang has given up all year. First and third, one away. And Counsell beats one through the hole. Rivera scores. And the hits keep coming for the Milwaukee Brewers. It is now 9-5. 6 runs are in here in the 5th inning.
Good
and
base
the Brewers
running.
are batted around.
Yeah, good base running by Seth McClung. Let that ball go into right field before he continued to second base. But Craig Counsell able to tomahawk an off-speed pitch into right field. Check it out. Up in the zone, gets on top of it. And McClung able to wait, let it go by, and then continue to second base.
8 consecutive batters have reached for the Brewers on 7 hits. Counsell drives in a run on his second hit. He's 2 for 4 tonight. Hardy started all of this mess with a ground out. 2 on, 1 away. And flare in the right. And Jay Bruce is under it. Big Red's going to tag. No, he's not. He was in good form too. Don't do that. Don't do that, Seth. Stay put. Second out of the inning. And they are enjoying every minute of it here at Miller Park. Braun homered with 1 out earlier this inning to pull the Brewers within a run. Then Fielder singled. Cameron hit the 2-run homer that put the Crew ahead. Hart had an infield hit. Hall doubled him home. Rivera had a double and an RBI. And then Counsell with an RBI single. The Brewers scored 6 runs in an inning earlier this month against the Cubs. Back on the 9th of May. That is the high water mark of the year thus far. A team that has been struggling to score runs with 9 on the board on 14 hits.
Yeah, that was a 6-run 7th inning against the Cubs, where Craig Counsell of all people hit home runs in that inning, and Ryan Braun.
The 7 hits this inning, the most all season for Milwaukee. It had been 6. Slider is in there for a strike. Well, last night, a 9-inning ball game took 2 hours and 14 minutes. This inning has gone 26 minutes at this point. Those are the kind of innings you want.
Well,
as long as you're at bat.
Yeah, at least it's the bottom of the inning.
Exactly.
You don't mind those.
2-2 to Braun. Fouls it away.
When you get a 26-minute top of the 5th, that's when you know you're in trouble.
Right. Braun hit his 9th home run of the year. 23 minutes ago. And has 2 hits tonight. He's 2 for 3. McClung at second. Craig Counsell over at first. And Braun gets tied up.
That ball almost hit him.
Yeah. It was either going to hit him or he was going to foul it off.
Second time that Brawny almost got hit. Remember, he tried to bunt for a base hit early in the game and fouled it off on a ball. Looked like it was going to hit him in the chest. Check this one out. That's about as far inside as you can throw a ball without hitting.
I think it had him on the arm if it doesn't hit his bat.
Man.
The strike counts first in a swing and miss scenario. 2-2 again. Ryan Braun hanging tough. One thing about Braun, he uses such a big bat. He can cover so much territory. Usually when Braun struggles, it's because he is swinging at pitches out of the strike zone that he feels like he can drive, because when he's going right, he's the kind of guy that can hit a line drive off the wall that almost is in the dirt.
Well, the plate is 17 inches wide, and he fouled one off that was about 12 inches in off the inside corner. And then he just fouled one off 4 inches outside. How many inches is that?
That's a lot, Rock. Jay Bruce makes the catch. The inning is over, but what an inning for the Brewers. A standing ovation, and they deserve it. 6 runs on 7 hits. 9-5 Brewers. On Fox Sports Wisconsin is presented by the Wisconsin Lottery and its family of instant scratch games. Odds are you'll like them. By AirTran. Go, there's nothing stopping you. And by Aflac. We've got you under our wing.
Now this copyright telecast is presented by the authority of the Milwaukee Brewers and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Wendell, his entourage, and the Milwaukee Brewers.
Oh, Wendell. You know, Wendell's got a future.
And his sign people, by the way.
Speaking of, Rock, we've gone into the deep into the well here, and we found you a sign that maybe can follow you around a little bit, because I think we have the perfect sign. Remember the other day, Lincoln Elementary provided some signage.
Score program.
I think it's exactly what you're talking about. Wendell's been walking around with sign people.
There it is.
Yeah.
So everywhere I go, that sign will follow me, right?
That's right. Crystal, could you hold that up a little bit? Say hi to everybody. No.
There you go.
She won't do it.
Brewers.
As opposed to the I'm with stupid sign.
That's what's on the back of that sign, by the way. You know what? When the cameras are off, they flip it around.
That's right.
Kick me. That's okay. At least they have a sign.
Everybody should have a sign, as my buddy Bill Engvall would tell you. 0-2 the count. Knicks fouled one out of play. In and out of the glove of Rivera. Great day to fly today, huh? Not a cloud in the sky. Brewers will be on a plane tomorrow after the game, headed to Miami. And it starts a 7-day road trip, 7 games, 4 in Florida against the Marlins, and then 3 over the weekend in Atlanta. Milwaukee has been good on the road. Despite the 3 losses in Minnesota, Brewers still over 500 away from Miller Park. They're 14-11. Maka hoping McClung can put up a 0 here in the 6th. And he strikes out Lance Nix. Big fastball from Seth McClung. And out number 1 here in the 6th inning.
Well, Nick's apparently looking for a curveball because this fastball splits home plate right in half. Very dangerous to guess with 2 strikes. Very hittable fastball just goes right by him.
McClung could pick up the win tonight if the Brewers hang on. And every time you get a big inning like the Brewers had in the 5th, it's always a key to not only get the first out, but put up a 0. A 6-run Milwaukee 5th inning. And now McClung trying to get him back to the dugout. Hernandez loves the first pitch and he fouls it away. I was asking Ken Maka earlier today, you know, he managed Hernandez in Oakland. Hernandez was his catcher there. He said, do you ever have Hernandez playing first base like Dusty Baker does? He goes, are you kidding? You know how many first basemen I had in on that Oakland ball club? And he ripped off about 6 names. He goes, we had plenty of bodies to play first base.
First base and DH.
Half the roster was first base. Just tell me there, Karros, you know, right at the end of his career was playing a little first base at the time in Oakland. And Rubio Durazo. But he likes Hernandez and his athleticism. He always liked him as a catcher. Hernandez came up with the A's, went to Baltimore. Seems to have found a home here in Cincinnati. McClung strikes him out. Big Red with his 2nd consecutive strikeout.
They're coming right at him with a 94-mile-an-hour fastball right down the middle, up around the letters, and tough pitch to get a piece of up that high.
Miller Lite, what's on tap? The Brewers and the Reds tomorrow. Check the airtime. It's 12:30 for Brewers Live. 1:05 start. And then Monday in Florida.
You have a weather report in Miami?
Not yet. You know, it's a little early. There's a pretty good chance it's going to rain at some point about 3 o'clock, though.
Well, not a bad time to be in South Florida. Not too humid, I would imagine.
Marlins got off to that great start. They were 11-1, but they have fallen on hard times lately. Florida is 5 games under 500. Matter of fact, they beat the Mets today, so they're 23-27. Gonzalez flies out, and Seth McClung, a 3-up, 3-down 6th. out in the first. Braun hit a long home run with 1 out in the 5th. And Mike Cameron, just 2 batters later, put the Brewers on top. His 10th home run of the year. Milwaukee now with 58 home runs for the season. Second in the National League behind only the Phillies. And we are headed to the bottom of the 6th inning in front of a sellout crowd at Miller Park. 44,000 on hand tonight. And it's Danny Herrera on the pitch for the Reds.
Yeah, 21st appearance for Herrera, 17 2/3. He's a left-handed hitter specialist. 8 walks, 16 punch-outs. He's given up the 1 home run and a 2.04 ERA.
Herrera came over to the Reds in that Josh Hamilton deal. The headliners in that trade was Hamilton for Edinson Volquez, but Herrera was a part of it. And you could call it a trade that has worked out very well for both clubs. And the Reds have 2 big leaguers out of it. Volquez, by the way, is on the disabled list and is expected back on Monday. Back spasms for the Reds hurler. A lot of injuries this year, Rock. Those DL lists are racking up plenty of casualties here lately, and the Brewers haven't been able to avoid the injury bug themselves.
And it's only been the one big injury to Ricky Weeks that's hurt him, for an extended period of time.
Fielder bounces one over to first. Hernandez, a nice play and a good throw, and Fielder is just out. So a guy who normally catches does a nice job to get an out on that play.
Well, if you can catch, you can play anywhere, partner. Just remember that. You should know that. You were a catcher. But Herrera does a nice job getting over there. Herrera's got that screwball he likes to throw. Not too many to left-handed hitters, but able to just barely beat Prince over to first base. That would be a mismatch on that collision.
Pretty much always a mismatch with Prince Fielder, but with Danny Herrera,
they've got him listed as 5'6", 165 pounds.
You know how that goes. That's a little generous. There's that screwball.
Yeah, the 5'6" I don't think is generous, but the 165 certainly is.
It's a great thing about baseball, isn't it? All shapes and sizes. Another screwball to Cameron. Such an easy pitch to give up on. And Mike Cameron at the plate tonight, presented by Wendy's. Big home run. 2-run shot last inning that put the Brewers ahead 6-5 in a 6-run 7-hit inning. The Brewers had 8 consecutive batters reach base in the 5th. Most hits in an inning for Milwaukee this year, and tied for the most runs in an inning. So that'll send Mike Vasallo deep into the stats pack tonight, updating facts and figures. Cameron took off to first on ball 3.
Just want to make sure everybody's paying attention.
Yeah, just keeping it real.
He knew.
He always knows.
He got me too. I put a walk in the book.
Did you?
Oh yeah. All about honesty up here. That's the way Wendell would like it.
Now he walks. Look at Cameron. 4. You call that a strike? What's he saying? Ball 4. Cameron with a few parting shots for Gary Cedarstrom. There's not another one like him.
No, he's the best.
So Cameron is aboard, and here's Corey Hart.
The Brewers had one of those mini fantasy camps out there on the field on, what was the day off? Thursday. U.S. Cellular Group came out and did a fantasy camp. Mike Cameron, Giovanni Garrido, and Carlos Villanueva were hanging around the ballpark. They had to do a commercial, but they had to wait for this camp to be over with. So they're kind of milling around, and while these folks are playing on the field, Mike Cameron's sitting in the stands just giving them the business.
You're kidding.
Just, roll reversal a little bit. Come on, you got to hit that ball.
That's great.
Come on, run it out. Those types of things. He has a great time.
He really
he
does.
is the best with the fans around the ballpark and on the road.
And I wish everybody could be with us on the road in person, because some of the best, most comedic moments of the year occur during stretch time on the road, when Cameron and Fielder and all those guys are stretching. They always stretch right in front of the dugout, and then their fans are in there, and fans of the opponent, and Cameron is relentless. I remember last year in Minneapolis, he brought a Brewers fan down onto the field.
Yeah,
this Brewers fan, a coach, as Hart lines one back up the middle. Corey Hart has a 3-hit ball game.
Yeah, the team was in Minneapolis, and this guy was dressed in full Brewer uniform. Hat, pants, jersey. Cameron brought him right out of the stands, which is not an easy task in Minneapolis.
That's right.
Got that big wall around the infield. Brought him down, and they were hanging out, introducing to everybody around the batting cage.
Played catch with him.
So the bottom line, I guess, what we're saying is, you come on the road, you wear a big Brewers uniform, you might be able to get on the field.
You never know. You will get recognized for sure. Mike Cameron makes a point of it. A lot of fun. Ryan Braun said earlier this year about Cameron, he's the best teammate I've ever had. And pretty much wherever you go, even in Cincinnati, where Cameron only played 1 year, he makes a huge impact that way. Marty Brennaman, the Hall of Fame broadcaster with the Reds, still calls Cameron one of his favorite players that he's ever covered. And he was only in Cincinnati 1 season.
He really never has a bad day. I mean, he might not be feeling all that great, but you would never know it by watching him go about his business. Always has a smile on his face. And why not? He's made a very good living doing something that he loves.
There's the Hall of Fame voice of the Reds, Marty Brennaman, working with his son tonight, Tom. That's got to be a thrill, huh? Go to the ballpark and get to team up with your kid every night. Off the end of the bat, little pop-up. Phillips turned his back and makes the catch. By the way, our U.S. Cellular text-to-vote question. If Manny Ramirez is voted into the All-Star game, do you think he should play in the game? W for yes, X for no. Keep that going throughout the game. Two on, two out. And here is Rivera. Rivera doubled in a run his last time out. Carlos Villanueva loosening for the 7th. Dave Bush went 4. McClung 2 scoreless innings. McClung in line for the win if the Brewers can hang on here. Rivera bounces one to third. And Hairston will take it the easy way. Scoreless inning in the 6th, and we head to the 7th at Miller Park. 9-5 Crew. Wisconsin is presented by Triple Hop Brewed Miller Lite. Great taste, less filling. And by Toyota, proud sponsor of the Milwaukee Brewers and the Tundra Territory at Miller Park. Having some fun at the ballpark tonight. And it's always great to see the legends up there, Yount and Molitor. Sellout tonight, 44,172. Sellout number 11. Second consecutive sellout. Expecting the same tomorrow for Trevor Hoffman bobblehead day. And the final game of the series and this homestand. Brewers can still make it a winning homestand. Right now it is even at 2 wins and 2 losses. Milwaukee dropped 2 out of 3 to the Cardinals before winning here last night. And a 9-5 lead as we play in the 7th. McClung back out there for his 3rd inning of work. He surrendered 2 hits to start his outing tonight, but then had a pop up in a double play in the 5th inning, and then he retired the side in order last inning. Ryan Hanigan leads off for Cincinnati. Reds had a 3-0 lead after 1/2 inning of play. 2 homers in the 1st inning for the Reds. Brewers came right back. Fielder hit a 3-run homer to tie it in the bottom of the 1st. Reds went ahead 4-3, and then it was 5-3 Cincinnati after 4. Milwaukee unloaded in the 5th, knocking Aaron Harang from the game. A 6-run, 7-hit inning, 2 homers in the 5th inning as well. And that's where we sit, 9-5 in the 7th. Giants and the Cardinals are underway. Barry Zito against Chris Carpenter in San Francisco. That game is scoreless. Zito is 1-5 this year, Rock, but he's pitching well.
Yeah, much better than he did last year. A disastrous season for Zito last year.
He's getting very little run support. Matter of fact, Zito has one of the best earned run averages in the National League at home this year. His ERA at home is in the mid-2s.
Well, San Francisco dead last in runs scored this year in the National League.
And you would imagine that against Chris Carpenter tonight, that is not going to change much. If Carpenter pitches like he did here Monday against Milwaukee.
Yeah, dead last in runs scored, but the Giants 4th in earned run average in the National League. So they do have good pitching, particularly starting pitching, but not a lot of runs to work with.
Giants are actually over 500. They're 24-23 right now. They've won 4 straight. Giants and the Mets had the longest winning streaks to start today. The Mets lost today to the Marlins, so their 4-game winning streak was snapped. Josh Johnson went to 4-1 on the year. Boy, he's a talent. Brewers are going to see Johnson, I believe, the final day of that series on Thursday. Cubs won today 7-0 over the Dodgers. Ryan Dempster picked up the win. Reed Johnson homered for Chicago. Two and 2 the count on Hanigan. 3-2.
Guy's been a tough out all series. Brewers have not retired Hanigan yet in 2 games.
Hanigan came in for Joey Votto yesterday. Votto had started. Hanigan entered the game in the bottom of the 1st. Then was pinch hit for. Been a tough out. Brewers are finally going to retire the Cincinnati catcher.
Hey fans, tomorrow afternoon against the Reds is Trevor Hoffman bobblehead day. Every fan in attendance will get one. That's courtesy of the Wisconsin Milk Marketing Board. Call 414-902-4000 for tickets. Now, we started the day today with 2 Trevor Hoffman bobbleheads in our booth.
That's right.
How many are in here now?
0. I don't know what happened.
We have nothing to show.
All I know is that
they're gone.
Trini Kusnarek of MLB Network was in this booth. There was a Hoffman bobblehead here, and then she's out of this booth, and there's no bobblehead here.
Mine was gone before game time.
Is that right?
Yeah.
You gave yours away.
Did I?
I don't know.
I don't recall.
Oh, okay. Well, it's not here, but you got to take our word for it. Trevor Hoffman bobblehead day is happening tomorrow, even though we don't have any proof of that.
I don't remember.
Trust us.
I don't remember giving it away. I really don't. I know it was out in the box.
I was just asking. I didn't mean to stump you there. But you're a generous guy, and you give a lot. You're a giver.
As I said, all the bobbleheads that the Brewers give away are tremendous. But there's only one bobblehead in my house. That's
the Wendell bobblehead.
That's Wendell.
Wilkin Castillo is batting for the Reds here. He was just promoted earlier today. He fills the spot on the roster vacated by Joey Votto. Has Wendell been to the booth? Because that would be a good place to look.
I'm waiting. I'd like to see if Wendell could sign our refrigerator in the back. Our Miller Lite refrigerator.
Yep. In the gap, Cameron a long way to go, runs it down. Mike Cameron. Tell you what, you talk about guys who are having all-star seasons. Mike Cameron is putting together that type of season in center field.
Well, in back-to-back hitters, he's covered about 100 yards. Deep into left center there. He went into right center when Hannigan was up. And you really somewhat take it for granted when you watch him on an everyday basis, because left fielder, right fielder doesn't have to cover much ground.
Craig Counsell was saying the other day about Cameron that he thinks it's the most under-talked about aspect of the Brewers' success this year. Of course, not by us. Cameron was quick to point out that we've been on top of it. But
how does he know?
Nationally, yeah, that's, you would think. Goes back and watches the tapes.
He's playing. Oh, they know.
But he does feel that Cameron, has just kind of gone under the radar a little bit nationally, and his impact here has been a lot of talk about Trevor Hoffman. Hoffman's impact significant, no question. The young sluggers here, but Cameron, day in, day out, makes great plays, makes the routine plays. So important to have a center fielder who can cover so much ground.
Sounds like a Brewers Live interview for you very soon.
Well, Telly's got big plans for Mike Cameron in Atlanta. Cameron's from Atlanta. I'm not sure about this, but I think Telly might have gotten the invitation to the Cameron homestead. That'd be big news.
Really?
Yeah. Just a little teaser, maybe. Unless Telly upsets Cameron in the next 5 days.
So it could be somewhat of a version of that show Cribs.
Yeah, MTV Cribs.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Check out Cam's house.
Yep.
Now I hope they're going to do it now that we've been talking about it.
I like to put things on the record a little bit. Hold everybody accountable, just like Ken Maka. I think it's happening. I haven't heard from Telly on the subject, actually. Thought he might come in here and clear it up.
Verify everything that we're slapping our lips about.
You can open me up if you want.
Telestrator Hughes?
Sure.
There he is.
I am here, and hopefully I won't upset Mike Cameron, because, yes, I did get the invitation to do that in his home once we get to Atlanta.
Nice, Telly. Way to bring it all full circle, baby.
9th of the year. And Mike Cameron right behind with a home run as well. Number 10 for Mike Cameron. And the Brewers have staked claim to a 9-5 lead as we welcome you back. Davey and Craig back on board. Prince Fielder, though, Davey, the last 2 days, the catalyst of this offense, 3 hits. Tell us about his approach, especially after the home run today.
Well, you know, Prince has been very patient at the plate. They're trying to pitch him inside, but get him out away and trying to make him get himself out. But right there, they had to come back on the plate with a fastball, and he just drilled it. Here, he got jammed a little bit because he's looking inside, got the base hit. Now, right there, they're going to stay away from him, and he got a base hit to center field. Well, and that's not Prince Fielder.
No, back to live action, Davey. You got that right. Frank Conguanano up to pinch hit to lead off the 7th inning here. But Davey and I getting all set for Brewers Live. Our post-game report coming up after the ball game. Complete coverage, Brian and Bill, and you'll be included, you know.
All right, thanks a lot, Craig. And Davey. Davey's had a big day today.
Been a long day for Davey.
Out early this morning. Catalanato pinch hitting for McClung. Frank Catalanato, Brewers just signed him last week, sent him to Double-A Huntsville to get some at-bats. Guess it's been 2 weeks now. Catalanato got 12 at-bats down in Double-A Huntsville, and then he was brought here to Milwaukee to join the big league club to start this homestand. But a nice addition, got a start the other day on Wednesday and drove in a pair of runs.
Good hitter, uses the entire field, makes pretty good contact. A guy that I don't think Ken Maka is going to have any problem making a spot start from time to time.
And Catalanato down on strikes. Speaking of Davey's big adventure today, let's send it back to Craig.
Yeah, that's right, Brian. He was out early today. For the past 54 years, the West Dallas, West Milwaukee Old Timers Baseball Association has hosted a breakfast with the Brewers. Davey brought Mitch Stetter and Mark DeFelice out. They presented a scholarship award as well. Big morning to start the day.
Well, it certainly was. And with Mark and Mitch, and myself being there and congratulating the awards. But we had a lot of Q&A, and I was doing all the answer questions. But Mitch and told the kids about their, as we get a base hit right there. Oh, yes. Great counsel. He's hot. I like it. But it was a great event this morning. And the kids were really interested in hearing the stories and how Mark DeFelice throwing his cutter and Mitch with his delivery, how all that unfolds.
Quite an educational ride to the majors as well that these guys got a piece of. So we'll send it back over to Brian and Bill.
I don't think there are too many people more busy throughout the day, with respect to what we do, with Fox Sports Wisconsin and Davey Nelson.
That's right.
Us guys that are in front of the cameras. Now the guys in the trucks, guys and ladies in the trucks are certainly the hardest working people around here.
Yeah, that's where the talent is.
That's where all the talent is. But Davey Nelson starts early and finishes late, and he does a heck of a job. We're very fortunate to have Davey in our organization. He does a lot.
6 a.m. to 12 p.m. is your shift, Davey.
That's it, man. But I'm loving it.
18-hour day.
And it was good to see Mitch Stetter out with Davey today. He and DeFelice. Stetter holding his throwing for a moment. One man out. J.J. Hardy at the plate. Counsell collects his 3rd hit of the game. Could very easily have 4 hits tonight. He was robbed of an extra base hit and an RBI back in the 4th.
He's going to find himself in the lineup again tomorrow.
Sorry, Craig, you're starting once again.
Yeah, we just can't afford to keep you on the bench or put you on the bench. You're in there. He didn't mind.
He feels good. A bouncer off of Fisher. Gonzalez bare hands and gets Hardy.
JJ hasn't hit in very good luck tonight. He's hit the ball hard just about every time up. Only 1 base hit to show for it.
Yeah, Hardy could easily have 3 hits, maybe even 4. That putout goes 1 to 6 to 3.
Hit that one right on the nose. Fish were able to knock it down, deflect it over to Gonzalez, who's playing a pretty good shortstop tonight.
The former All-Star Alex Gonzalez finally back and healthy. Knee surgery last year. Missed the entire season. 2 outs for Ryan Braun. 9-5 Brewers here in the 7th inning. Counsell now in scoring position. Braun belted his 9th home run of the year in the 5th. Has 2 hits tonight. He's 2 for 4. And you're right, Rock. That base hit he had in the 3rd inning, it was just a little flare and he was off balance, but he was able to muscle it into right field. It's amazing how it can change the day, change the approach anyway at the plate.
It was 0-2. I mean, he fouled off a couple of 0-2 pitches off of Aaron Harang, and instead of being 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts, he's all of a sudden he's got a base hit. He comes to the plate the next time up with, he's got that confidence going. He's got that hit out of the way for the day and able to drive one out of the ballpark.
Braun talking to himself. "16 hits for the Brewers tonight. 9 runs on 16 hits. Reds have 5 runs on 9 hits. And the big inning, a 6-run 5th. Braun down on strikes, and the side retired. Braun frustrated at that at bat. But we head to the 8th inning. The Reds coming up, 9-5 Brewers.
Chunk Gaming text question: can you tag the base with your non-glove hand on a force out? That from Dylan from New Berlin. Of course, yes, you can, as long as something on some part of your body, as long as you have the ball in your hand, it's a force out. Now, how many times has a guy actually at first base touched the bag with his glove with the ball in it at first? I mean, foot, nose, hand, doesn't matter.
Whatever it takes. And thanks for your question tonight. Mitch Stetter is on the mound for the Brewers as we head to the 8th. A 4-run lead for Milwaukee. Jerry Hairston leads off. He'll be followed by Bruce and then Phillips.
Boy, what a tremendous job by Seth McClung. My goodness.
3 scoreless for McClung. Gave up just 2 hits. And after he gave up those 2 hits, he did not allow a base runner. He got a double play ball in the 5th inning to end the inning. And he finishes with 8 straight retired. In line for the win, Seth McClung. Boy, big turnaround inning in the 5th for the Brewers. Saw that play by Bill Hall. He knocked down Jerry Hairston's shot down the line. It would have been a sure double. And at least second and third for the Reds with nobody out. Hall knocked it down. He didn't get it out, but he knocked the baseball down. Kept the double play intact. Bruce flew out. There was no sacrifice fly opportunity for the Reds because of that play Hall made. And then the double play that ended the inning. And then all of a sudden the Brewers in the bottom of the 5th score 6 runs. So that was a pivotal inning so far tonight.
Probably the turning point defensively for Milwaukee. First and second, nobody out. Billy Hall able to knock it down. It's a base hit. Actually, it was a man at first. That made it first and second. After a fly out by Jay Bruce, Brandon Phillips rolls into the double play. Reds stay off the board, and the Brewers put a 6th spot up.
And that's how fast it can turn. Hairston started at second base last night. He's been playing a lot of second in the absence of Brandon Phillips. Starting at third tonight, has 2 hits. He had a 2-run homer in the first inning before most people even made it to the seats. Stetter strikes him out. And the Brewer bullpen continues to keep the Reds down.
Well, on June 5th and 6th, come experience Miller Park Movies as International Mini creates a unique drive-in theater right here at Miller Park. For complete info on this magical movie weekend, visit brewers.com/movies.
It's coming up this weekend, Friday and Saturday.
I had a tough time with the magical movie weekend.
There's a little alliteration in there that'll throw you off.
I slid it all through.
It's okay. Jay Bruce 0 for 3 tonight. And 0 for 7 in this series. We hit the air yesterday talking about the Reds, and Rock, you pointed out the 2 guys in this Reds lineup that you cannot allow to beat you, Bruce and Votto. Votto's now on the disabled list, and Jay Bruce is hitless so far in the series.
Brewers have really done a good job with off-speed pitches to Bruce in this series so far. We see how well he hits the fastball. Put yourself in a position where you don't have to throw the fastball for a strike. Give yourself a chance against this guy. 14 home runs already.
His batting average is low at .231, but a lot of power. Stetter strikes him out. Back-to-back punch-outs for Mitch Stetter. Say, be sure to join us after the game for Brewers Live, sponsored by Lincoln Mercury. Our post-game instructional tonight, the secondary lead at third base. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, we had a lot of stuff to choose from today. Could have done the relay from the outfield, but that's a little bit too much running for Davey and I.
And too much throwing.
Too much throwing. That's not going to happen.
I mean, you do have your limitations.
I mean, a secondary lead from third base is about as lazy as it gets.
But still informative, though. I can't wait for that. Maybe you'll get Wendell out there for the instruction.
Could have talked about blocking the plate.
Yeah.
But, I already had the catching gear on once this week.
How'd you come out after that, Minneapolis, by the way?
Very well.
Yeah?
Very well, as a matter of fact.
Didn't you take one off the thumb from Bert Blyleven?
Yeah, I did, on the wrist. Didn't even hurt, I reminded Bert. I called him the other day and said, you know what, your best fastball can't hurt me yet. Still.
Bernie Brewer has been busy tonight. Been down the slide 3 times in this game. Fielder, Braun, and Cameron have all gone deep. Well, until Fielder's home run yesterday, I was beginning to wonder if that Kalahari splash zone was ever going to get any work out there. Bernie's got a new zone to slide into. If you haven't been to Miller Park in the last week or so.
You ever down that slide?
No. No, I don't plan on it either, really.
No?
That might be a good instruction, as a matter of fact.
Well, if somebody does an instructional going down that slide, it's not going to be me.
There it is, and then you slide down. See, the edges are kind of high, but you know
it doesn't look like it from up there.
No. I remember a few members of the Houston Astros were sliding down that a couple of years back, and the Astros owner, Drayton McClain, was not happy about it.
No.
We should see if Telly would go down the slide.
Telly will do anything.
I would. I think I'm going to do it at least once before this summer is over.
All right. Take a camera with you.
I'm not going to say when, but it's going to happen.
You put the Bernie uniform on too?
No, I don't know if I'll go that far, but it seems like it'll be a lot of fun.
It's a lot softer landing with that suit on.
Well, then again, since you said that, I may try to get me a Bernie uniform to get hooked up to soften the landing a little bit.
Make sure you finish off the Cameron interview before you do that. As Phillips draws the walk. Phillips looks like he's still hurting, and you just wonder how long he's going to try to play with that injury. You know, the longer he plays with it, the fractured right thumb, it's not going to heal.
No.
As opposed to going on the disabled list and just letting it heal completely and then coming back.
Well, it was a big question mark whether he was going to be able to play at all in this series, but I think what convinced him to try it was the fact that Joey Votto had to be placed on the DL. Of course, Phillips did hit a home run early today. A solo shot back in the first inning.
Well, Ken Maka heading out to the mound now. Stetter was scheduled to face Lance Nix, but Gomes has been announced, and Maka is going to make the change here. We'll take a timeout. Back to the bullpen goes Maka. 9-5, the Brewers lead it. There's Villanueva in relief for Mitch Stetter, trying to get this final out of the eighth. The Reds just one swing of the bat for making this a tight game again.
No, and that's why Ken Maka not going to mess around. He wants Carlos Villanueva in there. Hadn't allowed a run in his last 11 appearances. Great work by Carlos. Got a win on Monday against the Cardinals right here at Miller Park.
By the way, the Giants lead Chris Carpenter of the Cardinals 2-0 in the third inning. So San Francisco finally scoring a run against Carpenter, who had not allowed a run all season. Johnny Gomes to hit for Lance Nix. was asking a few of the players about Ken Maka today, putting together a little feature on Maka. Guys like Fielder and Ryan Braun impressed by the way Maka has managed the bullpen this year. That one is high in the air, deep left field, but playable. And Braun's got it, and the inning ends. So Villanueva gets the final out of the 8th, and we head to the bottom of the 8th. 9-5 Brewers. Game in the bottom of the first. Cincinnati got off to a quick start tonight. Fielder tied it up. Then Fielder with a handle hit in the 3rd inning. Slapped one into the opposite field in the 5th. And Fielder 3 for 4 tonight. He's driven in 3 runs. And back on top of the National League RBI leaders, surpassing Raul Ibanez with his 3 RBIs tonight. Fielder has 48 ribbies for the year. Now 12 home runs. And he is set to face Mike Lincoln out of that Cincinnati bullpen. Rock, the 5th reliever, or 5th pitcher, I should say, used tonight by Dusty Baker.
The front end of the Cincinnati bullpen, they have struggled from time to time this year. Mike Lincoln, one of those guys, but their back end of the bullpen, specifically Francisco Cordero, David Weathers, and Arthur Rhodes, they have been tremendous.
Johnny Gomes stays in the game to play left field. The Reds carry 13 pitchers on their staff. Only 12 position players. Most teams carrying 12 pitchers, some even carrying 11. But Dusty Baker, although his winning combination in the late inning bullpen has been very successful, can plow through some arms in games like this.
And that's why you see managers a lot of times only use a reliever for 1 inning, particularly if you're behind, so that you don't burn everybody out. You use them for 1 inning and you can use them the next day. When you're leading, it's a little bit different story. And what a shot in the arm, though, for Ken Maka to have Seth McClung come in and really shut down the Reds after a tough start by Dave Bush.
Those are the pivotal innings. Starter has an early exit. Maka pinch hit for Bush with an opportunity to score a run early tonight in the 4th inning. And Bush was out. McClung goes 3 scoreless. In line for the win. Fielder takes a strike. 3-2.
Yeah, Prince Fielder now leading the National League in RBIs with 3 today. Gives him 48 for the season. Ibanez did not have an RBI today.
Fielder takes a ball. And his first walk of the game. Leadoff base runner here in the 8th inning.
Let Applebee's take you out to a ball game this year until June 13th. Buy a select entree and get a voucher for a free Brewers ticket. Satisfy your hunger and your appetite for baseball. Only at Applebee's. It's a whole new neighborhood.
Mike Cameron with Fielder at first. Cameron's had a big night tonight. Walked his last time up, and his home run in the 5th inning put the Brewers on top 6-5. Home run number 10 for Cameron. He's driven in 24 now. In the air to right. Jay Bruce settles under it, and it's out number 1. Well, our Menards game reset. Fielder 3 for 4 with a walk and a 3-run homer tonight. Corey Hart has a 3-hit game. 3 for 4 at the plate, all singles for Hart. And the 6-run, 7-hit 5th inning, the difference in this one. Menards game reset. Hart making a bid at a 4-hit game, and that hit him. Just grazed his leg, and Hart is on base for the 4th time.
Hey, never mind getting hit by a curveball. That one stayed inside a little bit too much. Lincoln has a very good curveball. That's one of his best pitches. Doesn't throw very hard, but that big yellow hammer got a piece of Corey that time.
That's the best way to get hit if you're going to get hit. Just grazed him
on the pants.
Won't even leave a mark. 2 on with 1 out. And here's Hall. Billy had a big hit back in the 5th. He doubled off Harang. And that was the hit that knocked Harang out of the ballgame. It was a 1-run lead for the Brewers at the time. Hall drove in Cameron. Excuse me, drove in Corey Hart and made it 7-5. Nine runs on 16 Brewer hits tonight.
Yeah, season high for hits for Milwaukee, 20. That was against the Reds at Cincinnati.
That was a Bronson Arroyo game, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Brewers had 9 runs in the first 2 innings in that game. Good to see. The Crew won on only 3 hits yesterday, but 16 tonight in front of 44,000. The crowds here just continue to amaze. Baseball fever in Milwaukee. Don't think the players don't recognize it either. That's one of the, I would say, the most talked about subjects. As you know, you travel with this team, they talk about what kind of crowds we're going to have. The fans that have come out, and man,
you go to towns that most of the crowd not around. I mean, you don't see a lot of seats filled up. And you got to figure that's going to be the case in Florida. And not many people in Pittsburgh when the Brewers were there, and Cincinnati, the crowds have been tough to come by. But the Brewers, the players really do appreciate the fact that these fans come out here every single night.
not many empty seats at all tonight, if any. Full count to Billy Hall with 2 on and 1 out. And that one misses inside, and Mike Lincoln has loaded the bases. 2 walks and a hit batter. And the Brewers looking for the knockout punch here in the 8th inning. Nick Cole on his way to the mound, and our in-game box score. That is a hitting coach's dream right there. Dale Swaim's got to love the approach by the Brewer batters tonight. Everybody is chipped in. 3-hit games from Council and Fielder and Hart.
Everybody in the starting lineup has scored a run. It's been a well spread out offense for the Brewers in a lot of different ways. The guy to score twice was Prince Fielder.
Brandon Phillips telling Corey Hart how he hurt his thumb. Here's Mike Rivera. He's got a couple of hits tonight. A single and a double. He drove in a run in that 6-run fifth. Off the end of the bat, dropping fast. Dickerson coming in, and he's got it for the out. Fielder cannot tag, and Rivera is retired. Final game of the series tomorrow. The Brewers and the Reds will wrap up the homestand here at Miller Park. And the Brewers have their horse on the mound tomorrow. Giovanni Gallardo starts against Micah Owings for the Reds. Talk about two very good hitting pitchers.
And two of the best.
It's going to feel like an American League game here tomorrow with Gallardo and Owings.
And Micah Owings probably the best hitting pitcher in baseball right now.
And Gallardo's got to be considered among the top as well. All smiles for the Brewers. Bases loaded here in the 8th inning. 2 outs. Villanueva has RBIs out there waiting for him, just staring him in the face, Rock. Villanueva has a hit this year. He's 1 for 2 at the plate.
And Carlos, one of those pitchers out in that bullpen that is not allowed to take BP. So this is a very unfamiliar spot for Carlos.
Remember, he tried switch hitting last year a little bit. That didn't work out so well.
Yeah, when he was a starter.
But he was quick to point out that his batting average was the same. .000 from both sides of the plate. So there was really no advantage or disadvantage. There's a matchup tomorrow. Giovanni Gallardo going after his 5th win of the year against Micah Owings. Boy, Gallardo coming off a gem against Chris Carpenter and the Cardinals on Monday. Wow, was that some kind of game?
Yeah.
Gallardo did not factor in the decision that day. But he matched Carpenter pitch for pitch in 8 shutout. Villanueva strikes out. The inning is over. And we head to the 9th. Last call for the Reds. Plenty of offense tonight. The Brewers 3 outs away from securing a series victory against the Reds. And it's Carlos Villanueva to try to finish it off here. 9-5 Milwaukee. Villanueva worked a scoreless. Check that. Got 1 out in the 8th to finish off a scoreless 8. Stetter got the first 2 out. And it allows Trevor Hoffman to sit. But if the Reds put a couple of men on base, you'll see Hoffman get loose. Villanueva to face the bottom of the Cincinnati order. Ramon Hernandez leads off. He'll be followed by Gonzalez. And then Hannigan. Brewers trying to guarantee themselves a spot at the top of the National League Central with a win today. The Cardinals are down 2-1 to the Giants in the 5th inning. Albert Pujols has hit his 15th homer. Reds came in here hot. They won 4 straight and had won 5 out of 6 when the series opened yesterday. They swept the Houston Astros in their home ballpark. Dusty Baker, though, recognizing this trip as a key early season road trip, because not only does it match them up with the Brewers for 3, but they go to St. Louis next and a 4-game series against the Cardinals in St. Louis. Not a good time for Baker to lose his first baseman, Joey Votto, who went on the disabled list today.
Yeah, Cincinnati's played pretty well on the road so far this year.
Fielder makes a play. It's out number 1. Reds are 13-9 on the road this season. Polls are closed. Should Manny Ramirez play in the All-Star game if selected? A resounding no, 85%. I'm surprised 14% said yes.
He'll be back by then.
He returns on the 3rd of July. The Brewers play the Dodgers on the 10th. And the All-Star game on the 14th. If anybody misses 50 games in the first half of a season, you shouldn't be an All-Star.
Right.
No matter how you miss the games.
Well, at least you shouldn't be voted in. That's for sure.
That would be the only way to make it, to be voted in. Fans vote the starters, and then ball and a strike on Gonzalez. Swing and a miss. You could see a guy with an injury maybe, but you know, maybe a guy who's been an All-Star for years and years.
Right.
But
I remember Paul Molitor was voted in at second base, and I think only played 2 games at second base that whole year. He started this season. It's usually this opening day lineups for every team is where you are pretty much positioned in the All-Star balloting. You know, Molly was basically the designated hitter that year. He was voted in as a second baseman and actually started the game at second base. There's a different wrinkle for you.
full count. Villanueva against Alex Gonzalez with 1 out here in the 9th. Brewers trying to send him home happy tonight at Miller Park. Down he goes. Gonzalez strikes out. And Villanueva has retired all 3 batters he's faced. His first strikeout.
Well, Gonzalez finally got the fastball that he was looking for, but not in the strike zone. Ball 4. And can't get a piece of it.
It's like a big piece of chocolate cake, Rob. Looks good, but it's not good for you.
That's right.
All set up by the changeup. Sellout crowd on its feet here at Miller Park as Villanueva faces Hannigan. Carlos trying to make sure that Hoffman does not have to throw a single pitch in the bullpen tonight, which makes him available tomorrow. 1-1. Hope you'll make plans to be with us tomorrow on the air at 12:30. Trevor Hoffman bobblehead day tomorrow at Miller Park. Gallardo and Owings. And the Brewers trying to make it a winning homestand. After dropping 2 of 3 from the Cardinals, or to the Cardinals, the Brewers an out away from securing a series victory here tonight. Strike. 2-2, a fastball from Villanueva. Not sure there's been a pitcher in that bullpen who has benefited more from the presence of Trevor Hoffman than Carlos Villanueva. 2-2. Down he goes. Villanueva strikes out Hannigan. Rivera secures it. And that's your ball game. The Brewers win again. A 9-5 victory tonight against the Reds. Back-to-back wins against the division rival. And a chance for a sweep tomorrow. Stay with us. Brewers Live coming up right after the turn.